daily newsletter.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For many years, my team and I have worked diligently to provide our veterans with top-notch service, as it is our honor to serve those who have served us in the armed forces. Madeline and I are certified veteran lending specialists. Nationwide, there are over 22 million veterans that qualify to purchase a home through the VA loan program. Yet less than 2 million of them currently have a VA home loan. Many lenders do not keep up with the ever-changing guidelines and benefits of the VA loan program. They are intimidated by the program, resulting in many veterans not obtaining VA loans. This is unacceptable. The VA home loan program offers service members and veterans with 100% financing. You've already paid your down payment. If you are currently serving or have honorably discharged, we would love an opportunity to discuss how the VA program can serve you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Thank you for your service. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Oh, wow. Welcome back to the program. Nice having a 3-day weekend, but I have to say, I missed everybody. I missed Eddie over here. Eddie, how you doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing, bro?
I'm all right. Why you look so short today? But I've got plenty of stories from my travels out in Greenville, South Carolina, for my niece, baby.
Why you look so
niece,
tall?
Well, I don't know, camera tricks. She was baptized there. It was a great ceremony. I got plenty to talk about there. Had a welcome back to Alabama that wasn't the most pleasant thing in the world. But today we're going to kick off the show with something a little different. We'll get into all the politics, all the news, everything going on, and stories of being on the road. But first here we have Co Sawyer. He is in the studio with us to discuss, well, his father, Don Sawyer. You all might know him as one of the great artists here in the area in Wetumpka. And so, Co, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. You're going to have to forgive me if I get a little emotional today.
It's all right.
Talking about my dad and the legacy that he left. So,
well, and let's start off with the event, because I'm looking at the event page on Facebook right now, folks. Don Sawyer Downtown Artist Art Show. Correct. And this will be on the 26th of October.
That's correct. Starting about 10 a.m., I'm pretty sure the artists will be there. They'll get there anywhere 6 to 7 a.m. setting up. They're planning on having over 50 artists, which is a pretty big show. Their slogan this year is to make my dad proud, and let's make Don proud. And, you know, the way to make him proud is for these artists to keep doing what they do, to make art, to display their life through their art. And that's what my dad did. You know, my dad displayed the way of thinking and his thoughts through, everybody knows, the Hollywood fish. Matter of fact, I've got my dad's hat on today, just representing him. I was telling Joey earlier, my dad loved three things besides his family. He loved Vietnam, not what Vietnam was. My dad was a Marine, and he loved and he was proud to be a Marine. My dad loved his art, and my dad loved Jesus. And he displayed all three through the Hollywood Fish. And whatever he put his hands to, that's what he wanted. He wanted people to know the love of God and in his relationship with God through his art. Most of his artwork, after he had gave his life to the Lord, 10 years ago, most of his artwork has a fish, or it has a cross, or a picture of a church inside that artwork. And these artists have a chance to do something special this year. Yes, it will be emotional. Yes, it will be hard. I was talking to Claire, who was my stepmom, who was been married to my dad 26 years. I was talking to her, and we plan on having bukus of my dad's artwork out there. Deborah Wilson, who is now taking over the Downtown Artist and over the shows, she's already let us know that we can have as much space as we need. So we're going to have a lot of my dad's artwork there, a lot of his originals. So please stop what you're doing on October 26th. Make it a day of Wetumpka. Come out, enjoy some great food, great fellowship, and then some incredible art, because that's what my dad would want.
And again, folks, this is October the 26th, a Saturday, 10 in the morning till 5 in the evening. So you really can't spend the day. And, there's something great about an artist, what they leave behind. You can still see what he saw, that unique eye he had on the world, and what he loved, as you just expressed. And I'd imagine you probably have memories of, catching him in the middle of it, like sitting there working on this project, that project. He was always, I'd imagine, working on something.
He was. When, early 90s, my dad got paralyzed from the waist down with a disease called Guillain-Barré. And I remember him using a stool, to walk kind of from the bathroom or wherever he was going. And he's just, one day, just picked up a paintbrush and started painting on a Winn-Dixie paper bag. He painted Superman, Spider-Man, Snuffless Upless, and all these crazy characters. But all of a sudden, it clicked in his brain. My dad was a real estate entrepreneur.
Yes, he was, yep.
He probably the greatest real estate agent Montgomery, Alabama has ever seen. Probably the craziest, too, because his ideas were nuts. He would have me put up directional signs, if you know what those are.
Yeah.
I don't even think they use them anymore. But, he'd have me put directional signs up, and there'd be no house for sale.
Right.
He just,
Get my name out there, son.
he would want advertisements.
Well, you're going to remember that driving around following those signs.
That's right. There's no house here. What are we doing? But that's how my dad was. My dad was just that way. And then when he started taking up painting, it took off. Him and Claire moved to Destin, Florida. Did some incredible work there. My dad's artwork, if you're in Destin or around the beach, you can go to any of the restaurants and see my dad's artwork. Now, they're not normal. They're life size. They're 12 feet long. But that's who my dad was. He always thought outside the box. He wasn't a guy that would stay, in these parameters.
Right.
He was the type of guy, if he got pulled over the side of the road, well, I pay taxes on both sides, I can drive on both sides if I want to. That was just how he was. He thought outside the box, saw Wetumpka as an art place and said, you know what, we can make Wetumpka, Alabama something special through art. And that's what my dad did, through art. He now, his gallery's been taken up, his gallery's not there no more, which it does. It's kind of like, whoa, you drive by and you see a different face, or he's not in there painting. But you had mentioned, just memories.
Yeah.
There's tons of them. My dad just painting.
Yeah.
Or, he didn't care if he got paint on the carpet.
Right.
Or on the hardwood floor. That was him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care if he went out to eat and he had on clothes with paint on them. That didn't bother him. We live in a society now where everything has to be, perfect cookie cutter shape.
Right.
And my dad was not a cookie cutter shape. He was his own person. I probably 10 years ago, I got a phone call from a very good friend of mine. My wife and I are at Disney World on vacation. We get a phone call, and a friend of mine says, "Hey man, you need to pray for me." I said, "Pray for you for what?" He said, "Man, your dad is in church." And I gave my life to the Lord in 1997, and I broke. I was like, wow. And, my dad went to the preacher that day and said, "I want you to tell me everything about this Bible." He said, "Don, I can't tell you everything. It's about a relationship. It's not about, this, that, and the other." And he goes, "I tell you what." So my dad began to go to discipleship class, end up just a transformation done in his life. And then he started teaching art in church and had a discipleship group through art,
Mm-hmm.
teaching the word of God through art. And who would have thought that? Don Sawyer, So it's an incredible, I'm so proud to be his son. I'm proud that he left a legacy that is honoring to God. And I just pray that people would come out and, pick up a paintbrush. My dad honored God through paint,
Mm-hmm.
but paint is what got a hold of my dad. So it was a two-way cord there,
Amen. And so, folks, especially if you knew Don, I think you'll probably already be there on October the 26th. But even if you didn't know, maybe you knew of him because his name was pretty big in these parts. Go there, see the new artist, see his paintings, let the memories and the stories come back, and just hear from folks. You said that this is something an art show he put on quarterly. This one was already planned. Correct. And so this, again, folks, is in Don's honor, Don Sawyer Downtown Artist Art Show. It'll be October the 26th, a Saturday, from 10 to 5. And as you mentioned, there's going to be food, right?
Yeah, the local restaurants will be open.
Cool.
I just want to encourage everybody too. If you know a story of my dad, something he did, come by and share it with us. I'll be there. Claire will be there. Come by and hug our necks and just, tell us a story. Let us embrace this. He's been gone for a few months, and yeah, it's hard. But I'm gonna tell you, my dad would not want us to lay. He would not want us to be an idle boat.
Right.
He'd want us to put the gas forward, move on. Love God, love art, love our community, love each other. The Bible says, that we are to love one another. You're my disciple by the love you have one for another. And that's just who my dad was.
Well, Co, I appreciate you taking the time here to speak about your father. And I just, again, encourage folks to stop by on October the 26th. And let's honor Don through art, the art that he loved, and keep this going, like you just said. Well, and did I miss anything before I let you go here, honey?
Joey, you guys are personally invited. We'd love to have you guys out just to, kind of, maybe you could interview a couple of people that knew my dad, and I'm looking at the inside.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are looking on the outside of Don Sawyer, and the community and the embrace that we've received has just been incredible. I can't express you the fact that my dad is, my daughter, my youngest daughter, I'll share this one story.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest daughter, it was the day my dad had passed away. And my wife and her were headed to the lake house in Florida. And Ari had fallen asleep in the, they were driving on 230 or on 31, and they're going south, and they look up, and my wife sees a rainbow. And everybody knows that rainbow is a promise from God. And Ari wakes up from her nap, and Allie says, Ari, I saw a beautiful rainbow. Pappy's already up there painting. In less than just a few minutes, Ari says, God, I want Pappy to paint me one. And not kidding you, within seconds, just rainbow after rainbow after rainbow. And I'm not in the car with them, so my wife calls me and tells me the story, and I'm like, God, you're so good. Your promises are amazing to them that believe. Mm-hmm. And hey, whether my dad's, my dad ain't worried about painting right now, I promise you. He's walking on the streets of gold and looking at me and says, son, you better carry on what I've told you to carry on. So I'm very honored to be here, very honored to be able to speak about my dad and just a little bit of what he's done in his life. I want everybody to know, if you can hear me today, I want you to know a relationship with Jesus is the most important relationship you could ever have. My dad found that relationship, and it was through art. And I want everybody to find that relationship, because that's what my dad would want. My dad would want me to, his last words to me were, Co, tell him I'm saved. And I'm here to tell you, my dad loved God. He loved his wife. He loved his kids. And he loved art. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Co.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back, folks.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
You probably know lots of people you trust to mow your lawn or wash your car. But when it comes to electrical work, you're picky, and you should be. See, electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. The sad truth is, each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. Crosby Electric has been serving the river region for almost 50 years. Their technicians are held to the highest standards in the profession. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, rigorous drug testing, continuous education, and safety training. The technicians at Crosby are specialists. They don't do plumbing. They don't fix air conditioners. They simply provide superior electric service in a safe and timely manner. Don't take chances. When you need electrical work, or if you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us online at crosbyelectric.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Fall is officially here, and it's time to get your system ready for the winter. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125 or go to clarkcomfort.com. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Big drama in the Gulf of Mexico this week as a hurricane heads for Florida, but it won't affect us. Today, mostly sunny, very warm for October, high around 88. Cloudy at times tonight, but cooler overnight. Low temperature down to about 60. We'll be in the middle 80s on Tuesday, then the low 80s Wednesday and Thursday with more sun and low humidity, and maybe the 50s by Wednesday night, possibly lower 50s by Thursday night. Get ready for the coolest air of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Just want to thank Coach Sawyer again for that beautiful testament to his father.
Yeah.
That
He held it together very well.
yes, he did. Yes, he did. So, what did you do on Friday? During your
I
camera.
hung out with Greg a little while.
Yeah.
And I left that afternoon and went to Sam's to get some gas,
Mhm.
and my truck broke down at
Damn.
the gas pump at Sam's.
Damn.
Yeah.
How did you move it?
I had to call my buddy Todd Wheeler, who's the greatest not fork truck driver, but greatest
Tow
truck. Thank you, tow truck driver around. He came over, got me. We dropped it off at Don Duncan's place for about 2 days and was fixed up. But man, there was nothing worse than looking in your rearview mirror. There's 30 cars behind
Right,
you.
I was about
and
to
you're
say.
the guy.
Of all places to break down.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Like,
it
that's
was-
almost worse. I don't know if it is worse because, you know, that Z3 BMW I
Yeah,
had?
yeah.
Yeah, I was taking Seth Spotlow
that's
to
right.
work, and it blew up on the interstate. Thank God it was right near the exit we were taking, so I was able to get up on the side of the exit.
Well, thank God for Todd. He was there in like 20 minutes.
So you didn't do much this week?
No, actually, other than that, I really felt kind of just sick all weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's something's going around.
Yeah,
And,
apparently it's syphilis. I mean, shingles. Apparently I got like another week of left and then...
Yeah, I told family members that story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what do y'all talk about on your show? Oh, well. My co-host told his mom he had syphilis when he was trying to tell her he had shingles. So. Then he ran over a couch cushion in his wife's convertible. And
Same thing happened today, except it was one of those pool noodles. Stop letting stuff fly
What
out of
in
your
the
car.
world?
Oh, I had
What
to
in the
swerve like
world?
3 or 4 times. I finally saw it fly out from behind me. But
what a mess.
I saw some smoke. So
What a mess. Now, I have to say, Greenville, South Carolina, where we went to
Yeah, how was
visit,
it?
it was Lucy's first birthday party and also the baptism the next day. And both beautiful ceremonies, get-togethers. I think Lucy she said her first word now. She
Really?
will, and she doesn't do it like on command or anything,
Right.
but if you say hi, she'll like look around, hi, and she'll give you a little hi back, and that's
so
the only
sweet.
word she knows now. But she seemed a little, happy, but also like, who are all these people
Oh, yeah.
staring at me? And when they got her a smash cake,
oh yeah, that's so
and
cool, man.
she wasn't doing anything with it, so they
You have to
like
encourage her.
stuck her hand in it,
Yeah.
and as soon as she saw the icing on her hand, she just started wiping it off on herself. My brother smashed her hand in the cake. She starts crying. No, the beautiful cake. But no, it was great just seeing aunts and uncles, my dad and I getting to spend some time together. How about this? 30 minutes out of Greenville.
Yeah.
We get a call from the Airbnb person. And we've used the same Airbnb in Greenville the power company said it would be tonight, but they're saying they just updated, won't get power back till Sunday. So we're like 30 minutes out. Thank God. My brother and his lovely wife had a doctor friend who was out of town. Like, you can just stay in our place.
Nice.
Yeah. And like,
No idea before that though. I mean, they didn't give you a heads up that.
no, we thought it would be kind of on the line. We
Yeah.
might have to rough it one night, which wouldn't that been that big of a deal. But yeah, we left midday Sunday. Like, we're not going to stay at a place with no power for the entire time.
Exactly.
But yeah, we lucked out of that. And
Still have to pay full price?
No, we got a refund.
Nice.
Good person.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. I
Yeah.
gotta give refund if you don't have power. I gotta
Right.
put it in my own notes there.
Well, it was on the honor system too. It's like, you please cancel it so I don't get the fees and all the bad
That's
reports.
very smart.
And then I'll tell them to give you a refund, and she did.
Yeah, Airbnb's they got some rules.
But, watching the Auburn game together was quite something. Ugh. But then my Uncle Scott, who's a big Auburn fan.
Yeah.
He's like, do not turn it to the Bama game. You'll jinx it. You'll jinx it. I've done this for years, rooting for them to lose. Don't turn it. And then, of course, people are like, no, we're turning it.
We're turning it. You got to.
And wow.
I couldn't believe it, Joey.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I couldn't believe it. I was, Auburn didn't surprise me. We had a couple good moments, but I knew, where we were going to end up at the end. Alabama, I kept waiting. And I'm like, they're coming back. Okay, they're coming back.
Mm.
And then you start doing the math. There's not enough time.
Right. Not enough time at all. Well, and what was it? They're just running the option?
I don't know what the deal
Well,
was.
the little bit I watched, it's like Vanderbilt's just running the option, and they're running it well. Like, how do you not coach up your team to understand how to stop the
My understanding
option?
is they had a bunch of injured players, but I really don't know. But I just was, dude, I was baffled.
I do love that when those old school offenses, like, catch a team off guard.
Yeah.
Like, they really are still brilliant. It's just everybody kind of knows you can coach up to stop the option.
Obviously, they overlooked them. They obviously
Yeah.
didn't even put them on the schedule, man. I
It's
mean,
nuts.
it's just, wow.
Well, and did you see the guy, the quarterback, when they asked him post game? He's like, when I was a kid, I got a vision from God himself. I'm like, preach, brother.
This guy was, dude, he was on fire.
That was amazing. It wasn't like, I just want to thank God, my Lord and Savior. No, he's like, when I was a kid, I had this
He
dream.
knew this is my one opportunity. I better take advantage of this.
So that was amazing. And, and as I get back here into Alabama, I'm out of sorts. I didn't get back till late yesterday. You still had to write the op-ed.
Yeah.
And, catch up on some of the news. And so I'm a little out of sorts this morning. Like, laundry's not done. Things just aren't in the
your
proper
weekend's
place. So
off.
I leave the house a little late. Later than I would like. I'm like, I need to get gas. I need to get some energy drinks, water. So I stop at the Circle K.
Yeah.
Gas station right here on Perry Hill, right near the interstate.
Yeah.
And I get my stuff pretty quick. The gas is filling up while I'm in the store.
All right.
And I'm like, well, I'm making pretty good time here. And then I stand in line, and like, I see there's another line that's moving fairly quick, but it's enough people in it. I'm like, well, I'm next.
Oh, you're next.
In this line, so why not stay put? Like 15 minutes later, so as I'm standing there, I start examining, what is this standing in front of me?
What was the holdup?
Two fat, ugly women that wanted their crispy, crunchy chicken. Crispy, crunchy with K's. I wonder why they didn't spell chicken with a K. And the person who's helping them behind the counter is like, got to be a cross between Quasimodo and Dr. Robotnik, oblong looking like, y'all want ranch with that? I'm like, how long does it take to put chicken in a box?
Let me tell you my secret to that. I have
You
found
want a biscuit?
in Wetumpka, there is a gas station that has no employees in it. Everything you do, you do.
Okay.
The best gas station ever.
Yeah.
No
Oh, no.
one's ever in your way. There's no line.
Yeah. And it's taking absolutely forever. I'm like, who are these bridge trolls? And then, okay, she finally gets them their boxes of chicken. And then, are
What about
y'all, I want 3 packs of Marlboro Lights, the golds. So I'm still standing there. I'm like, now I'm going to have to put the show together, and I'm mad dash. It's my fault for being late.
You're stereotyping Alabamians right now.
No, but these are just fat, ugly women. Wasting my time, wasting everybody's time. And then the dreaded thing of like, okay, finally you got your chicken with your ranch. You got your cigarettes. Ma'am, are you a rewards member? Can you put in your code?
No, Joey.
No, just swipe your card, give her cash, go. Waddle out of here. I'm like, welcome back to Alabama.
Yep.
Oh, man.
We do things a little different around here, Joey.
And then it took her forever to figure out how to, like, I showed her, I go, 3 of these nicotine pouch boxes. It took her another 5 minutes to figure out how to open the damn 5-pack. Well, I was opening the wrong one. Are you a rewards member? No. I have Apple Pay. I'm tapping. Buy.
I suggest you find a new place.
Yeah, or just don't stop there during lunch hour.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. If they got a deli, usually the food is good, but you're going to be there a minute.
God bless Alabama. I'm sure they're a lovely lady, but man.
Yeah.
That ugly woman.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to Alabama.
Let's go to Josh. Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Hey guys, how we doing today?
Pretty good.
All right.
Good, good. Hey, I wanted to chime in with Don's son and everything. I was going to let him know some of his art is hung on the Grayton Beach Village gas station. I think it's on the corner of 395 and 38, but right over the door going into the Village gas station by AJ's right over there in Grayton Beach.
Yep.
He's got a huge painting or one of his portraits up there. I can remember him sitting out in the old Winn-Dixie parking lot off 231 with this trailer and the fish lip prints and the funky fish prints and all that back in the day. I used to stop by and look at it. Man, he was a great man. Beautiful, beautiful mind. So,
yeah, and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that his son spoke highly of him. There's a lot of folks in the community that, you know, held high regard for him. So I want to let him know that.
Well, I appreciate the call, Josh. And yeah, talk about it's a legacy and it's an amazing life story. He could have, at so many turns, like just, you know, been ornery and given up like so many, like I am sometimes on a daily basis. And he did not. Man, he came to life after the toughest times hit him. What a man.
Inspiration, Joey.
No doubt.
Well, I appreciate it, Josh.
Take care, Josh.
All right.
272-9228. Let's see. This is on 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Jess.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. I don't know if I've ever heard you do this, but I was wondering if you could do me a favor today, Joey. Yeah. It's my wife's birthday. I was wondering if you could look into that camera and tell Annika happy birthday from your husband, Jeff.
Annika? Annika, happy birthday. That's from your husband, Jeff, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Jeff.
That's all I got, buddy.
All right.
I appreciate you.
Thank
You're
you,
my
Jeff.
man today.
Well, I hope it works. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, pal.
Speaking of birthdays, it's our good buddy Mark's 50th birthday today. Yeah.
Wow. Happy birthday, Mark.
50.
Yeah, and I did get your text. I'm sorry I don't always respond, man. I did get your text that you did the full joystick removal replacement thing with the controllers. Freaking amazing.
Amazing.
I can't do that sort of work.
No, wouldn't try.
So, in a second, we need to, you know, hit another break. But did you get into the politics over the weekend?
I saw some stuff. I watched a lot of the Trump rally.
Oh, my goodness. The Trump rally, the return to Butler, Pennsylvania.
I didn't.
I was showing it to family
everything.
clips and stuff.
I saw just about everything except when he finally spoke. That's when I had to leave.
Yeah.
So I saw all these other people. J.D. Vance did very well.
J.D. Vance did quite. No, you didn't see how Trump began his speech there? Again, this is in Butler, Pennsylvania, in the exact same spot he was standing.
Yes.
When he was nicked, when he was shot. And so he's standing in the exact same place. They now have like these barrier
they got
protective
some pretty good,
screens up there now.
there now.
But this is how Trump begins that rally. Pretty amazing.
As I was saying.
Yeah.
And he turns his head to that chart. And folks are doing drone footage of the crowd. I don't know how many people that was. That was a
lot.
Massive crowd.
Did you get any estimates? Did you see any
I
estimates?
don't even trust them. Okay. Like, I don't know. To my untrained eye, lowball 50, but probably a lot more
I kept
than
hearing
that.
tens of thousands.
Yeah.
But I never did see. I just saw more and more people.
I don't know if it was quite hundreds of thousands, but it definitely was tens. Could have been a little towards 100.
Yeah.
But because it was a sea of people in an open field packed in. So it's not as easy as when you look at an arena.
Yep.
So because it really where people were packed in there. And this came across not as like a normal political rally to me. It came across as like a defiance of death, celebration of life sort of situation.
Oh, yeah. I think that's why he did it.
Yeah.
Let the world know I ain't scared.
I mean, and what that was literally just over 2 months ago that happened. What a 2 months it's been. Like, it's easy to forget.
Oh, no doubt.
What happened.
No doubt.
Now, to your point about J.D. Vance, here's one of the clips that's been making the rounds. J.D. Vance saying what I think is on a lot of people's minds.
We all feared the worst, but you knew everything would be okay when President Trump raised his fist high in the air and shouted, "Fight, fight." Now, I believe, as sure as I'm standing here today, that what happened was a true miracle. And on that day, America felt the truth of Scripture. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me.
There you go. But that wasn't just the tone. I mean, at one point, it's like there was some operatic song performed.
Yes.
Lee Greenwood performs.
Did you see the Trump plane fly by?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Elon Musk is brought up to the stage.
Right.
And he's literally jumping like a child, hands in the air,
Yeah, he
belly
did.
showing,
Yeah, he did.
big old belt buckle on.
Yeah, he did. I thought that was pretty funny. He was pretty excited.
Come on up here, Elon. Come on.
He gets excited.
But I have to say, the thing that really made me laugh, and I was, as we're sitting there on Saturday, you know, the football games have kind of gotten over. One of the guys, Richard, wanted to, I don't have to explain who that is. Richard wanted to watch the Clemson game, or because he's a Florida State fan.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, sorry for you, Richard.
Yep, bad year.
Good guy, though. Real good guy. And I'm sitting here seeing the clips come out. And I have to say, I think my favorite clip of the night was the end. It's right as Trump ended. So let's set this up.
All right.
Because, you know, sometimes things work out not according to plan.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes things are for the better when they don't go to plan. That's a good rule. Like, especially you control freaks out there. Sometimes things work out for the better when they don't go to plan. Sometimes you catch yourself unexpectedly tapping your toes when you had no plan of dancing whatsoever. Yet you embrace the spontaneity and you keep on dancing all the same. The unexpected and spontaneous are next door neighbors to the miraculous and providential, all prone to upsetting the best and worst intentions of men. Men who take pride in their ability to control the course of human events do not like being reminded that the world is much too ineffable to be managed by their best made plans. It doesn't necessarily take an act of God to upset their schemes. Fortune always plays its hand in the affairs of men. A simple unconscious step or swift flash of instinct can turn heads to new possibilities no one could have planned or hoped to control. For instance, I don't know if you know this, Eddie, the Village People didn't plan the famous dance for their song YMCA.
I can see that.
It was completely unexpected, a consequence that sprang up spontaneously. In fact, the dance, everyone now knows, actually started as a miscommunication between the band and the studio audience on Dick Clark's American Bandstand. Here's a quote from a guy named Randy Jones. I'm trying to think which one he played.
I'm going to say he was the cop.
No, he wasn't the cop. That guy's got
I know he wasn't the
particular-
Indian.
Anyway, it might have been the cop. Anyway, we were flying up from South America for the show and talking about American Bandstand, and we worked on the choreography on the plane. Hand claps, turning, marching in place, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, the audience at this particular taping was a bunch of kids bust in from a cheerleader camp. The first time we got to the chorus, we were clapping our hands above our heads, and the kids thought it looked like we were making a Y, so they automatically did the letters. We saw this and started doing letters with them. It was purely audience generated, which is probably why it's still so popular. Now, fast forward 40 years later, and the 1978 disco smash hit, also some claim gay anthem, is now synonymous with the most unlikely of characters, the 45th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Sure is, man.
Trump began ending his rallies in 2020 with the song and captured the world's attention by adding his own unique set of dance moves to the mix. Yet this past weekend, Trump may have put on his ultimate performance of the song. Watch this, Eddie.
Trump doll we used to have in here? That's exactly the move the Trump doll made.
Perfectly to the burnt.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Very much so.
The second Butler rally, returning to it for a second rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, the same venue where he was less than an inch from being killed by an assassin's bullet, Trump put on a historic spectacle no one could have planned or predicted 6 months ago. Yes, many political promises were made there by Trump and his team, including Elon Dark MAGA Musk. But the plans presented for the second Trump term were besides the point that evening, in my humble opinion. The second Butler rally was more than just another political event. It was a MAGA celebration of life in the nation, wrapped up in red, white, and blue, as well as scripture, song, and cheer, all done in such a preposterously entertaining and endearing way that one must simply say, only in America. Indeed, at the end of the rally, right on cue, standing a few feet from the exact spot where his life was almost taken 2 months ago, Trump began shaking his hips and pumping his fists to Village People's YMCA, dancing in the shadow of his own death. Whether Thomas Matthew Crooks acted alone will be for historians and conspiracists to hash out in coming years. But concerning that dark day, there is one thing I do know, that someone planned for Donald Trump's death on July 13th, 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania. Yet, because of an unexpected spontaneous turn of the head, things didn't go to plan. And after going down, Trump picked himself off the ground. I truly believe that God saved President Trump's life that day, J.D. Vance told the massive crowd at this second Butler rally. And I believe that God is with us right now and watches over this incredible nation every single day. Vance isn't the first to suggest divine providence at work in saving Trump's life. Many say they see the finger of God in these events, including Trump himself, while certain more skeptical corners of the world have mocked the idea that Trump is God's chosen candidate. For my part, I prefer to think of such unlikely moments as God unexpectedly catching himself tapping his toes, dancing spontaneously with the music of his creation, even to his own surprise. Seriously, what an evening. It was quite something, to put it mildly. Here's a little bit of what Trump had to say at the rally, if you didn't already hear it. This is just as a, 20-second clip? Well, it kind of says it all.
Over the past 8 years, those who want to stop us from achieving this future have slandered me, impeached me, indicted me, tried to throw me off the ballot, and who knows, maybe even tried to kill me. But I've never stopped fighting for you, and I never will.
272-9228 if you want to get on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. But talk about a spectacle. The very place you're standing, you almost die in front of God and everybody. You're up there shaking your butt to the Village People.
Notice how many Secret Service were on those roofs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And, hey, men, they're ready to help you there at Montgomery Men's Health. It's just that simple. No, here's the number. No. Here's the deal. If you are a man and you're, say, in your 50s or 60s even, and you're starting to feel like I'm losing my edge.
Right.
Like you don't have motivation, energy, or drive, including you don't have much of a sex drive to speak of. You're seeing a weight gain, loss of muscle mass. Maybe you just feel like you're walking through life in a fog. Well, knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And that's true for guys, again, in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yep.
There are guys in their 20s and 30s experiencing these symptoms. You definitely need to get by Montgomery Men's Health because the providers there can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have low-T treatments at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hello, this is David Ernest with Ernest Financial. And just like Ernest Financial makes lots of money for our clients, Blue Water has helped us make lots of money for our company. You cannot go wrong with advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Now, folks, it wasn't just Trump who spoke. It was also fascinating to see the folks he brought up to speak alongside him. Well, first off being the richest man on earth, Elon Musk.
Honored to be joined tonight by one of the people who is going to help us build this incredible future, and he is a truly incredible guy. And I don't say that often. He's a great gentleman. He's done such an unbelievable job for North Carolina, for Georgia, for Alabama, for Florida, for Tennessee. His name is Elon Musk. He saved free speech. He created so many different great things. Where is he? Come on up here, Elon.
What?
He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
He's somebody that ain't supposed to be on stage.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
I love the dark MAGA.
Well, first of all, I want to say what an honor it is to be here. And, you know, the true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight! Blood coming down the face. Now, America is the home of the brave. And there's no truer test than courage under fire. So who do you want representing America? Yeah, absolutely. And I think this election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime. This is no ordinary election. The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. They want to take away your right to bear arms. that they want to. They want to take away your right to vote effectively. You got 14 states now that don't require voter ID. California, where I used to live, is just passed a law banning voter ID for voting. I still can't believe that's real. So how are you supposed to have a proper election if there's no ID? It's just meaningless.
And he goes on to say, get out the vote. Get out the vote.
Yeah.
He's actually now offering money to people if you
Canvassers.
refer somebody to in a swing state to register to vote. He's going to throw $47 your way, which is like, well, that's a heck of an incentive.
Yeah.
I guess we got the billionaire money coming our way this time. But that wasn't the only one, the only guest appearance. Do you know the name Dr. James Sweetland?
Name sounds familiar.
He is the doctor who tried to save Corey Compatore.
Oh, that's right.
On that fateful
Right.
day. Listen to what he had to say, again, here at the second Butler rally.
My name is Dr. James Sweetland. I had the opportunity to take care of Corey Compatore during the last Butler rally. The fact that all you are here makes you all heroes. You're standing up for your candidate and the right to celebrate your candidate. Please give yourself a big round of applause. You deserve it.
No, he's not done.
In speaking today, I have to give you two disclaimers. First one is that the opinions that you hear from me today are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the organizations I work for, UPMC Lock Haven, or Schumacher Clinical Partners. Having said that, I have another disclaimer. I used to be a Democrat. Please forgive me for that.
And obviously, if he's speaking there at the rally, he's going Trump's way.
Right.
You're seeing more and more of those. We've got a big Twitter confession saying, I used to be a Democrat, I'm now voting Trump. Here are my reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
We've got that coming up in the next
See
hour.
more and more of that.
272-9228. And by the way, as all this was going on, Kamala last week was filming a podcast episode with, I think, the number 2 and number 3 podcast in the world, Call Her Daddy.
Yep.
The bra fits. Wear it, I guess. Let's go to Robert. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Hey, guys. You know, I've been waiting a minute, but I love your show, and I just want to give, I've just now learned what YouTube is, where you give a thumbs up and all that kind of thing. And that's kind of like me with these phone calls. Joey, you got the gift of the voice, and I want to thank your show, you and Eddie, and y'all might have even liked it because you didn't have to talk so much, but I did watch the JD. In other words, here at home, I got TV, I got radio, I got all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And but I also liked how you covered it, and I'm just giving a thumbs up to your show, and I don't know if I made anybody mad with that or not.
Who knows? Well,
All good,
I
Robert.
really appreciate the thumbs up, Robert. You
See
have
you,
a good
Robert.
one, man. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by an amazing company. One of my, I have many favorite sponsors, to be fair.
Yeah.
But Pest Pro Services,
They're so
you know what
awesome.
I'm saying.
Dude, they're so awesome.
Ashley and Pest Pro are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. Could be you've got an emergency job you want to get done. Like there are ants in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We can't have ants in the kitchen. The family's coming over.
Right. You don't want that, Joey.
Or it could be you're just looking for an everyday pest control company to make sure your home is jam up and jelly tight when it comes to fighting back those pests. And that is Pest Pro Services. And they're great local folks. So when you spend money with them, you know it's going back into the community. Ashley does not only a spectacular job with the business, but she's always supporting other businesses and highlighting a lot of great causes here in the River Region, especially athletics.
Oh, yeah.
I love what she does
Local
there
athletics.
with high school sports. So check them out today. You can always call Pest Pro at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Vigils, commemorations, and acts of remembrance are being held across the world to mark a year since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, as leaders call for an end to anti-Semitism and the release of Israeli hostages. Last year's cross-border attack killed about 1,200 people. Milton has rapidly strengthened and has become a Cat 5 as Florida gears up for what should be its biggest evacuation in 7 years. The major hurricane moving over the Gulf of Mexico and is headed toward population centers, including Tampa and Orlando. Milton could make landfall Wednesday in the Tampa Bay area and remain a hurricane as it moves across central Florida to the Atlantic Ocean. The Dow dropping 246 points. The NASDAQ is off 95. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Big drama in the Gulf of Mexico this week as a hurricane heads for Florida, but it won't affect us. Today, mostly sunny, very warm for October, high around 88. Cloudy at times tonight, but cooler overnight. Low temperature down to about 60. We'll be in the middle 80s on Tuesday, then the low 80s Wednesday and Thursday with more sun and low humidity, and maybe the 50s by Wednesday night, possibly lower 50s by Thursday night. Get ready for the coolest air of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors & More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors & More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A Millbrook Middle School teacher has been arrested for criminal mischief and harassment involving a student. 27-year-old Austin Dorbuth is accused of physically shoving a 13-year-old student, causing the student to drop and damage his cell phone. Dorbuth is currently out on bond pending his appearance in municipal court. A woman has been arrested following a weekend stabbing incident in Montgomery. Katrina Nicole Cheeks is accused of stabbing a 67-year-old man in the chest with a steak knife at a West Fairview Avenue gas station on Saturday night. The victim had refused Cheeks' request for money before he was stabbed. Alabama College Application Week begins today. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Education, many Alabama colleges are taking part by waiving their application fees. Last year, more than 250 Alabama schools participated, and nearly 28,000 students applied to colleges for free during College Application Week. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get on the conversation. How's everybody feeling about the election? Of course, here in Alabama, we know which way the cat's jumping with the presidential election, but how's everybody feeling when it comes to this outcome?
Well, I've got some good friends in Arizona I spoke to over the weekend. They're very excited. They feel like it's Trump's election, no doubt.
Yeah,
and they're in Arizona, which is a kind of a up and down kind of state.
And there are a lot of people putting on a confident face. Everybody's thinking they're going to win, but I'm not sure.
Yeah?
Well, let's see what Trump was up to, not just at the Butler, Pennsylvania, a little bit of what Kamala was up to. This was Trump, I believe, at a town hall with the best-looking member of Congress. Not that that matters. Anna Paulina Luna, whose district probably is being getting ready.
Yeah.
Hurricane Milton, now a Cat 5. Some wondering, could it become a Cat 6? And it looks like it's mostly not the panhandle, the tip of Florida.
It's right through the middle, dude. Just right through the middle.
Tampa, Miami.
Yeah, basically.
It'll hit Orlando,
Florida.
Jacksonville, the other side. Yeah, the big lobe that sticks out.
Yep.
Well, and, that state, a lot of new Floridians.
A lot of them, Joey.
I don't know if they signed up for that. But here's Trump with Anna Paulina Luna. They're about to sit down. For those just listening, they're about to sit down. They both have these like almost bar chairs, like white pleather bar chairs. And this is what goes down.
I think I'm going to stand. This chair is the most uncomfortable chair I've ever. First of all, it spins. And the one thing I don't want is to fall on my ass, because that's going to be, that will be the only story. They'll say, sir, you did great. Too bad you fell. That would be the only story. So I'm not sitting in that sucker. I think it's a booby trap. That was put there by Kamala.
I like that.
At least he seems to be having fun with all this. Dadgum.
Yes, he does.
So let's go to Kamala. Speaking of Kamala Harris, she apparently made an appearance on, again, it's like depending on the week, the number 2, number 3 podcast in the world. And maybe some weeks it's unseated and become number 1. Massive podcast. I'm not the target audience, so I haven't watched much of this. It's called Call Her Daddy.
Call Her Daddy.
You know of this show?
Oh,
Eddie?
yeah.
Yeah, you've watched it, some?
Watched it a little bit, not much. It sprung with Barstool Sports, I forget how many years ago.
Okay. How would you describe the content?
Very pro-woman, very pro-crazy woman, to be honest. I mean, it's...
What do you mean crazy woman?
They speak on the well, I don't know if it's crazy, I guess, but they speak to things that you and I as guys have no idea.
Okay.
This is kind of a totally women's inside show. And nothing
Okay.
wrong with that.
No.
It's a woman's version of a sports show, I guess you'd say.
Right.
Yeah. And
some people are describing it as like a sex podcast.
It's got
some
she
sexual
goes
stuff
there.
going
Yeah,
on,
she
yeah.
goes there. She's not afraid to, but it's an incredibly popular, successful podcast. I was surprised she got this guest though.
Yeah, Kamala Harris sat down. Well, first off, people are noticing that it only received about 100,000 views in the first 16 hours with mostly negative reactions on YouTube.
That sounds about right.
Wow.
Didn't
Now, YouTube does skew male.
Yeah.
But, when you look at Trump's appearances on Lex Friedman and many others, it's very big response.
Mm-hmm.
Theo Vaughn, that was a huge response. So, I mean, okay, interesting guest, but let's get a little preview of what they're talking about.
Our TikTok terms, I have seen girls on the street walk up to men and be like, do you know where a tampon goes? Do you know how many tampons we use? Do you even know how, do you know what a X or Y or Z is of a part of our, and they don't know the answer.
I was the first vice president or president to ever in office go to a reproductive health care clinic, ever.
Well, I guess it's speaking to somebody. But you got to read some of the comments rolling in. Not one good comment. This is nuts.
No.
She really tried to Aiden Ross like Trump and got this. How long before these comments get disabled? People in my neighborhood state, North Carolina, neighboring state, do not have power, water, or roads.
Yep.
And our VP is talking about this. So sad, my heart is broken for our country. 97,000 views in 14 hours. Trump would get millions. So, all this was filmed as all the mayhem's going on with Hurricane Helene. What a mess. But that wasn't the only question that was asked. I believe the woman who hosts is named Alex.
Yeah.
She asked this question. I think she's honestly just wondering and asking this. Let's listen in.
I want to pose this question more to you and the Daddy Gang, but one of the biggest conversations in this year's election revolves around a woman's body.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I want to take a moment and can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision.
I know what you're going to ask.
About a man's body. Let's
No.
Is there any law?
No. It's no.
Well, it kind of
And men very quickly online said, hey, ever heard of the draft?
There's a couple laws specifically for men. Can't pee in public, Joey.
Well, there's that too, but I don't think ladies are allowed to squat and do that either.
They won't go to jail.
I don't think so.
I know so.
Yeah. Well, it's not quite as intimidating. No, it could be, I suppose.
Could be.
Depends on how you squat.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, people are immediately saying, yeah, the draft.
But now this is it's a total pro chick show, and it's a clickbait kind of deal. And
no, I'm not knocking the show. Call her daddy. All best wishes and best success going forward.
I'm really surprised she got this guest. I mean, I know she's very popular and all, but I didn't think I just surprised that they would do that. But heck, Trump was on Theo Vaughn, and so I guess they're all trying to get what they can get.
Oh yeah, and Lex Friedman and the Nelk Boys and so many other little things.
Dave Ramsey, he was even on Dave Ramsey.
Oh, we do actually have a clip from that Dave Ramsey appearance.
Oh yeah,
where Trump apparently went on about terrorists.
Oh,
John Bolton, who I watched debate or listened to debate Vivek Ramaswamy. My dad and I listened to that in the car on the way up, and coming in, the proposition, the measure was something like the United States should use its power to advance its interests around the world. And Vivek's like, well, I mean, the way it's questioned, it seems benign, but I think we've made a lot of interventions on behalf of our interests, and they've not been in our interest.
Mm-hmm.
Going in, only 14% of the crowd agreed with Vivek. And this was at a military school with a bunch of young cadets in the audience. So there's the people going to fight the next war, if there is one, are the ones voting in this poll. After the debate, Vivek was up like 55-45.
Is that right?
Yeah, he won the room.
Interesting.
And this is after John Bolton's like, well, Trump doesn't even understand
The
tariffs. Yeah. But here's Trump talking tariffs on the Dave Ramsey show. Let's listen in.
Word tariff to me is a very beautiful word because it can save our country, truly. And yet, I think because of graft, because of a lot of consulting payments and other things that given by other countries, we have so much fighting with politicians on using it. I saved our steel industries by putting tariffs on steel that China came in and dumped. And you know what they do? They dump and dump and dump. Everybody goes out of business. Then they buy those businesses very cheap, and then they raise the prices to higher than they ever were. That's one of the many benefits that they have if they want to do it. But by putting tariffs on, as an example, in the furniture business in North Carolina, it was so vibrant, and they stole our business. And they charge us, if you wanted to build a furniture place, if you want to sell your furniture in China, they won't take it. But if you want to build a plant in China to make furniture in China using their labor, they open it. We're doing the same thing. But a lot of people are, oh, well, we don't want to have tariffs. The country was at the richest point in its history in the 1890s. It was all tariffs. If you looked at William McKinley as an example, he was a big tariff president. They had committees that were put in charge of what to do with the money. We were taking in so much money. And McKinley would say, why should we let other people come in and steal our factories and steal our workers and steal our jobs? And why shouldn't we benefit? And he tariffed the other countries. And we made so much, and then they went to the income tax system later on. But they would actually they had a blue ribbon committee. Our country was so rich, they didn't know what to do with the money. And this blue ribbon committee was set up to determine how can we spend all of this money, and they took it in through tariffs. But we can turn our country around, make it strong, and then guard it with tariffs.
Now, if I was given the question of tariffs a tax, like anything else, like any other tax. But if we could go back to a system where the argument we were having every 4 years was how high should the tariff be, as opposed to every single other little tax we have in our system, including the income tax system. Like, if I would all day, every day be like, get rid of the income tax system, get out of people's backyard, and we'll argue about the tariff.
Yeah.
I would take that all day, every day. It's not perfect, but I there's something in principle about the income tax.
It is, but
it's intrusive and it's controlling through all the credits and deductions, and everybody doesn't,
and it's not made to be. It's not made to be clear at all. Not made to be transparent. But I'd rather have that conversation than getting nickel and dime to death.
Right. No, and just I'm going back and forth between playing clips of Trump and playing clips of Kamala, because it's like you could look at poll numbers. We come to that in a second. But here's Kamala, and it seemed like her teleprompter broke.
Yeah.
Remember his number? 32.
32.
Today we got 32 days until the election.
She's waiting.
Come on, say
it. 32 days.
32.
32 days.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some business to do.
Okay.
All right. 32 days.
32 days, right.
And we know we will do it.
Slow it down.
Right.
And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have some hard work ahead.
Yeah, you're the underdog with every corporate media interest and elite interest in your pocket.
Yeah.
Or actually, they've got you in their pockets, to put it correctly.
Honestly, yeah.
Puppet. And then, sir, I understand. I'm biased in this. Maybe I love Kamala Harris, but all I see is not, a Democrat. It's not, a communist. No, I see a puppet for the ruling elite.
Yeah.
Who will say whatever needs to be said in order to gain power and make sure they can hold back this tide of now what is a populism that spans the political spectrum beyond the normal left-right Republican-Democrat divide.
All I see is a skin suit.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it, dude.
They put a new face on
Yep.
the ruling class, and
Might as well put a humanoid robot out
we're
there
going to
because
ask,
that's what we got.
like, yeah, might as well.
Yeah, that's what we got.
Let's make a robot president.
What we got, man.
Why not? Let's make a robot president
To be programmed.
But CNN has lately been, I don't know what they've been up to. Maybe they're trying to like actually get viewers again that aren't aging out.
To act like they're playing fair, Joey.
Right. And, I think some of this is responding to just realities of what's happening with cable news. But here is a guy named Harry Inton. He is their kind of guy, pollster, breaks things down.
Yeah.
This was headlined, The Democrats' Big Worry. Let's listen in together, Eddie.
What if the polls are off? There have been previous elections, of course, where that's happened. What if that happens?
What happens if the polls are slightly off? Remember, back in 2020, the polls underestimated Donald Trump. So what happens if we have a similar error across those key battleground states?
And by the way, it says right here on the Chiron, polls show Harris, Trump, and dead heat. You just heard Kamala herself saying, yeah, this is going to be tight. Yeah. So let's keep going with the history lesson here.
What happens if the polls are slightly off? Remember, back in 2020, the polls underestimated Donald Trump. So what happens if we have a similar error across those key battleground states? Well, if that happens again, look at this. Donald Trump carries all of these Great Lake battleground states. He carries Nevada as well. Of course, he carries Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. And he gets, to get this, 312 electoral votes. So the bottom line is, if we have an error like we did 4 years ago, Donald Trump is going to win this election. Kamala Harris is going to lose.
Again, that's just one guy's opinion, and we're less than a month away, but
got to beat the cheat. Which
We'll
I'm comfortable with that now. I'm very comfortable in the fact of him winning, and I told you before, my fear is getting him in there to do the job. That's my fear.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. And like I've been saying, I've been telling family members this too. No matter who wins in November,
you're leaving the country?
No. We still have problems that hardly anybody's really talking about solving in a serious way.
Big problems, brother.
Yeah, real big
problems. Yeah.
And that's the most unnerving part about this. Like, it has been a dramatic 2 or 3 months. I was taken aback seeing the clips coming out of that second Butler rally. I thought it was only in America sort of moment. How over the top the mix of religion, of Christianity and scripture with patriotism, and then you throw in like the pop culture that Trump still embodies
Definitely
in many
saw
ways.
a lot of that.
So there's a lot of amazing, I think, historic things happening, but you got to wonder, once the fanfare of an election subsides, is America actually going to deal with the problems that have been staring it in the mirror for a while now? We'll see. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hello, this is Terry. I called last week.
Hey, Terry. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Hope you gentlemen are doing the same.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm excited and at the same time anxious about the upcoming election. I hope folks that say they care about the result go to the polls and actually do their historic duty. I don't know if it's been mentioned on the program or not, but of course this is the 1-year anniversary of October 7th.
Yes, sir.
Probably one of the most hideous and depraved attacks of one group of human beings on another that's occurred in the last 50 years, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
I think it does folks well to go back and revisit some of those videos and some of the commentary at the time to put a better perspective on what's happening now. But when I talked to you last week, Joy, I'd been prompted to talk about Napolitano because I listened to some of his comments on the site. Didn't realize that you had interviewed him maybe a day or 2 days before.
Right.
And I listened to that interview on your podcast, and I am a strong supporter of Israel. And when I hear some of the things I heard from Napolitano, you really didn't challenge him at all. I feel duty-bound to contest and push back I'm going to assume and give you the benefit of the doubt that you don't concur with many of his opinions, or perhaps you do.
No, I think he is farther down a certain road than I would be. We're sort of in the same ballpark. My views would probably, if I could give a proxy, be similar to somebody like Rand Paul. I think in the long run, Israel and the United States would be better off if we weren't so tied to the hip, and we could get into specifics there. I do worry about jumping into another war in the Middle East, in particular with Iran. I'm talking about the United States doing that. But no, when I look at the history of the foundation of Israel, I just do not find that the so-called Palestinian cause is this eternally just thing, and the Israelis are simply evil occupiers. I think that's an absurd reading of the history. And in many ways, I think the dynamic is the Palestinians and Arabs kept fighting the presence of the Jews arriving from Eastern Europe, and they lost the war. And since then, it's been decade after decade of, well, let's have peace. Nope, we'll fight again. And it does seem very clear. I was watching folks from Israel on this anniversary saying they want this to be the final war. We're tired of these fighting and pausing. We're going to take out the threat. So there are many ways I see the issues that it creates geopolitically for the United States to be so tied to the hip to Israel. But if I'm asked about, like, do the Jewish people have the right to that state, I think they've earned it. And I think they're going to defend it to the hilt.
Well, I'm very glad to hear it. And as far as tied to the hip, I think Israel has learned a very good lesson dealing particularly with the Biden administration, that they cannot depend on the U.S. far from tied to the hip, and they will develop their own critical arms industries like they already have. They're, in my opinion, practically leaders of the free world at this point anyway. But I am pushing back. Napolitano soft pedal Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, and doesn't call them out the terrorists that they are. He promulgates that absurd, almost deranged conspiracy theory that Israel murdered half of its citizens that were killed on October 7th, which is really outrageous and slanderous. But there he was, giving credence to that, and almost finding the Hamas attack understandable in the context of 1948. He also accuses Israel of stealing land. They have never stolen 1 square inch of land from anybody. That kind of shocking lack of historical perspective, or he just don't know the facts. And this is also crazy, a man who is otherwise extremely intelligent, but he's just gone off the rails along with his constant guess. Ritter is worse. Colonel McGregor, worse, and somebody named Johnson I listened to today. So I won't go off on my own rant, but if you want an reasoned, intellectual, factual retrospect on what has happened this year, listen to somebody like Ben Shapiro, who is hardly a right-wing zealot, but there you will get a reasonable and honest depiction of the great struggle that Israel finds itself in now. So,
well, Terry, as I told Napolitano in that interview, I listened to Shapiro and I listened to everybody because we're in a new age where microphones are not. Many people have microphones and followings, and I think it's better to get everybody's perspective on the table.
It is.
And I do find, as I've tried to learn the history, it's like alternative realities, and it depends on which rabbit hole you go down. In particular, I would suggest Benny Morris, Israeli historian Benny Morris, is a good deep dive place to start on how all this came about. And well, we'll see. We'll see where it goes, especially now on the anniversary. What is the next move as we climb up the escalation ladder here with Iran and its proxies?
Well, hopefully they'll deal a deadly blow to Iran. Israel, basically by itself, is defeating the terrorist world. And if Napolitano and the so-called libertarians can't see the great necessity to eliminate Iran's pernicious influence and their maniacal quest to exterminate the Jews all over again, But the good news is they will never let that happen, no matter what the U.S. says or fails to do or say. So again, God bless Israel on this 1-year anniversary, and I'm pleased to know that you are not lockstep with the crazies over at the judging pre.
Well, appreciate the call, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
272-9228. But like I said last week, I listen to everybody, and it depends on the issue too. You might be like, we vehemently disagree on this particular thing, and then next week something else comes up, and we're like, well, kind of see eye to eye in this regard.
Yeah, back at the table again.
Sometimes I get worried when, like being a Republican is this package deal of stuff that you have to believe in. I'm like, what? How? Or being a Democrat the same way, and it's like, wait, why are all of these things tied together in a particular way? And just let's view it as it is. And again, I think part of these growing pains in the new media environment is a lot of people have microphones, and it would be better to try to understand, if you got the time or the inclination, to try to understand everybody's perspective so you can, in your own critical mind, glean what you might think is true. So, I recommend watching Judging Freedom because it is a perspective you are not going to get on Fox News by any means. But I also would say, see what Fox News is saying, see what Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro is saying, see what many other voices that don't quite fit into the box are saying. I listened to, of all people, Ari Shafir and Dave Smith did a 4.5-hour podcast.
I saw that. I didn't get to watch it, but I did see.
A big part of the conversation was on Israel and this war being the 1-year anniversary. And it's fascinating because Dave is very critical of the state of Israel. I don't think he's gone as far as Judge Knapp.
No.
But they're also Ari Shafir, he was planning on being a rabbi, living in Israel, and he kind of gave it up.
But he went, it's about as close as you could go to getting it.
Right.
It ain't like he thought about it and quit. He was in the schools. He found doubt in his faith, I think is what he says.
Right. Yeah. And actually a great place to start on that is just look at the Israeli press and look at the argument in Israeli politics. I don't agree with this idea that there is so much daylight. I'd imagine Netanyahu, maybe this is his last hurrah. But when you look at the vast majority of the population there in Israel, I think they're all pretty united on we have to have these threats end right now.
And I think that's just it. And I'm sure if we were in that world too, that kind of gets old.
The question is, how do you do it? And you could go to Benny Morris, but as a historian, you also go to Norman Finkelstein. You can look at a completely different perspective on all this stuff.
My thing is, though, they're not attacking me. Who am I to judge?
Right.
Because I didn't after 9/11, I didn't want to hear an opinion from anybody in the world on what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I learned then that day, it's not my war. I don't like it. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like what either sides are doing. But however, it's not my place.
Right. And what I was saying with Rand Paul, Rand Paul has long advocated and actually had some defense officials in Israel kind of agreeing with him that, you don't do it right in the middle of a war. But it would be better policy if, say, the Israelis could develop even more of their own defense and supply chains. I think it's something like every dollar that the U.S. sends to Israel, 70 cents of it has to be spent in the United States for our weapons.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense, don't it? If I'm buying
and also a little bit of distance allows, I think, a little more room on the diplomatic end for both countries. So, and I do suspect as well that the Arab states, who are saying a lot of things about the Israelis need to stop, the Arab states, I suspect, the Gulf Arabs, with the exception of Qatar, are in Israel's corner. Saudi Arabia is an ally. They haven't declared it outright, but they're acting like an ally. Jordan's acting like an ally. Egypt's acting like an ally. And that's the whole premise of the Abraham Accords, and I believe why the leaders of Hamas, leaders of Hezbollah, and, of course, Iran in the background had to blow something up. So
to do something, show something.
To stop this new alliance. So we'll see. It's messy.
But always over there. You know as well as I do. On both sides, there are people that do not want peace.
Right.
And whenever they get too close to the peace table, they blow something up.
Or it's like, well, we'll have peace. And then it's like, okay, we'll have a UN enforced resolution, say, in southern Lebanon. Oh, wait, nobody enforced it.
Right, nobody enforced it.
And I tend to be more in the perspective of, if I have to put myself in the shoes of Israel, no, we're not. We're done with that.
Yeah.
We're done playing that game.
Where has it gotten? What has it gotten?
Right. Of course, I can also, on a human level, see whether your family member is killed on October 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Or can you imagine you're born in Gaza? Everything you know, you have family members you know who died. Everything you know from the day you are growing up is told to you by these groups running that place.
Yeah.
It's just a tragedy. And the deal is that tragedy needs to end. And the only way you rise above the tragic nature of man is through heroism. And sometimes heroism is brutal.
Yeah.
Read any good book, any story that lasts the test of time. And it's not like our heroes that we hail are all, peace-loving.
Right.
272-9228. You want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And they're at All Pro. Well, they're ready to help you out with checkup on that HVAC system.
Yeah, man. We are having an Indian summer, Joe. We are in October.
Yeah.
I'm still running the AC.
Yeah, man. Right.
I mean, I'm appreciating a little bit, but come on.
Right. Or, and eventually you're going to start turning that heater on.
Right.
So maybe you want to check up before the heater's switched on.
I think you do.
That smell. Ooh, that smell.
Yeah.
And of course, they can also help you there at All Pro with a Generac generator. And given what we've seen with power outages,
man,
it is interesting to see how folks are dealing with it.
Yeah.
Well, the beautiful thing, what if you got that generator just hooked up directly in your home? I was talking to my brother about that. Not this past week, the one before. My dad drove all the way up there 7 hours and took him a generator. But it wasn't one he could hook up to the whole home. So it's like we're running the fridge.
Yeah.
Let's run the TV for a few hours.
Oh, I've been there. You got to program, okay, a couple hours here, a couple hours there.
And my brother's like, man, I'm installing a Generac. Like,
told you.
Just to be able to flip that thing on. And well,
Miracle,
All Pro
baby.
Heating, Air, and Electrical can install that for you. So when the storms roll through, the power stays on. Give them a call today at 301-1961. That's 301-1961. Or go to allproheatingair.com. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the River region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Big drama in the Gulf of Mexico this week as a hurricane heads for Florida, but it won't affect us. Today, mostly sunny, very warm for October, high around 88. Cloudy at times tonight, but cooler overnight. Low temperature down to about 60. We'll be in the middle 80s on Tuesday, then the low 80s Wednesday and Thursday with more sun and low humidity, and maybe the 50s by Wednesday night, possibly lower 50s by Thursday night. Get ready for the coolest air of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Soon we'll be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. During our big moving sale, get a great deal on a Kubota with 0% APR up to 84 months with approved credit. Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor in Montgomery or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Hurricane Milton rapidly intensifies into a Cat 5.
Massive.
It's just on that peninsula sticking out where Cancun is, Central America. And the projected cone of doom looks like it's going to be hitting Tampa direct.
Yeah.
And I've spent some time there in St. Pete Beach. It's actually where I met Judge Knapp.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful part of the world.
Sure is.
But, man, even in the middle of beauty, you look around and you're like, this place has been shaped by centuries of storm.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the map, tell you that.
And so let's just hope people most in need of getting out of there get out.
I've seen a lot of the videos of Florida. People are prepping their homes, and it looks like most of them are heading north.
Yeah.
Which I think it's supposed to hit. Is it Wednesday?
I don't see it right now.
I think it's Wednesday or Thursday it's supposed to be hitting. So they'll get, but they'll start feeling the effects of it tomorrow afternoon.
They're saying a surge in Tampa, Sarasota of 8 to 12 feet potentially. And then in Fort Myers, a little bit north of Tampa, 5 to 10 feet. And does this thing
a lot of water, man,
slow down once it goes past Florida?
I don't think it would. Florida's just a hiccup, man. I mean, if it goes through Florida like that, it's picking up steam on the other side as it's going through. And I don't think any water temperatures have fallen much. So.
And I hope the Floridians that have lived there for generations are informing the brand new Floridians that moved in 2020. You better get ready.
Might depend on the kind of bumper sticker they have on their car.
Honestly, man, I think you get to a point, though. You're in the middle of the crap.
If you see everybody else leave and you're standing there,
yeah.
You didn't get the memo.
But I'm saying I don't care who you voted for. If you need help and I can help you, I'm going to help you. Like, damn it. There's things more important than the fake politics. Pardon me, everybody. I know we talk about it all the time. But at the end of the day, that stuff's so fake compared to helping somebody in need right in front of you in the midst of emergency.
Not everybody takes it that way, though.
Yeah, well, they should. Hey, let's go to All Has Been. Hello, sir.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, man?
I'm down in Pike County, so may be sketchy, but there's no doubt that Trump is going to wipe the board with the electoral votes. There's no doubt. The only thing that scares me from November the 5th to January 21st, that's a long time.
Sure is.
A long time. And I'm also wondering if, Florida's a red state, if the Democrats are going to somehow try to use these two hurricanes as a way to negate Florida's Trump advantage or not. That just worries me. And one other thing real quick, I spent a lifetime as a maintenance mechanic with the hurricane hunters in Biloxi.
Yeah.
And you have no idea, as bad as this storm is, you have no idea how much maintenance and operations appreciates they can fly to Keesler to this storm and not have to send a maintenance team and 3 aircraft and like we do down into the Atlantic, down to St. Croix all the time. It makes it so much easier to fly out of Keesler and back. It's better for everybody.
I imagine it's much safer.
Well, that's relative, but once you're in the storm, it's bad anyhow.
Does the storm, since you're the maintenance mechanic, does the storm actually do any physical damage to that plane? I mean, is there a difference of one flying through a hurricane than, say, just, general weather?
Yes, at times it can. It can remove all the paint off the leading edges, wings, tail, and empennage.
That's what I was
like
wondering.
You can't believe.
I was wondering, because it's like a pressure washer.
We have to quickly, prime that up. It can damage the props. We have carbon fiber props.
Yeah.
on those airplanes. In the beginning, we used to have terrible, terrible issues with those carbon fiber props. Basically, we're changing every prop after every flight. That was, $250,000 a prop.
Ooh.
But eventually, engineers, maintenance, everybody got involved, and a simple little stainless steel taco shell about 6 inches long, bonded to the critical part of the prop, solved that problem.
Wow.
It went away. It solved that problem, saved the Air Force billions of dollars on that. But it's all the weather birds, they're 20, 22, 23 years old now.
Ooh.
They fly in the worst type of weather. Maintenance issues are becoming more and more prevalent. It's just it's a rough business to be in. Everybody thinks it's glamour, but it's a rough business to be in.
Yes, sir. Well,
Interesting.
I appreciate that, sir. And I also, you're spot on with Trump wins, and the dangerous time is that next couple months.
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably the most dangerous time this country's ever had, because these people are evil. They don't want to give up power. They don't.
Right.
If it takes a national emergency to negate the election, they'll do it.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Well,
All right.
Appreciate it, sir.
Good show. Love y'all.
Thank you, old hat Ben.
272-9228. I love how after he says, I love y'all, you go, thanks, old has been. I know it's his handle, but it's just, sometimes you sound rude.
Yeah. I
You're
hear
not
that.
rude.
I hear that a lot. So
You
it
sound
might be.
that way.
Apparently, if you tell the waitress, thanks, darling.
Really? That's rude?
I don't think so. But
wait, what does she look like? Is she like one of
it
those
doesn't
fat,
matter.
ugly women I ran into earlier
it's
today?
It's an IDM situation to me. If she's a waitress, waiter, whatever, I'm always a thank you. If it's a woman, there's usually $1 or a baby or something on the end.
Honey.
Right. And I've been told many times in my life that's rude. But when I'll ask the waitress, I'll bring her back over. Hey, did you think that was rude? And they're like, no. Well, usually they'll say, are you tipping me? I go, of course. Well, then no, it wasn't rude. So there you go.
Wait, so if you tip them, you can say what you want.
Not necessarily say what
Is
you
that
want,
the lesson
but
I
there's a
should
little
learn
bit
from
of,
this?
There's a little bit of give and take there once you tip them.
Mm-hmm. So what's your thought on the long history of Israel and Palestine?
Joey, well, my thought is on that is I'm glad I don't live there.
It's a mess, man.
I don't buy no pagers from there. I don't buy no telephones from there. And while you're over there, don't take no buses.
All right. And again, as I've told Judge Knapp, who will be on tomorrow, I tried to look at that and every other conflict, especially war, in the most pragmatic, I'm standing 10,000 feet above looking down at this thing. And, what's the best outcome? But at a certain point, the fighting's going to start.
Yeah. But because you got too many people that want that. You don't have enough people that want peace.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage, bringing you this entire hour. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim and Madeline, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon, are ready to help you whether you're looking to buy a home.
Right.
They can walk you through the home buying process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. Or maybe you're looking to refinance a home.
Right, Joey.
And, with interest rates falling, it could be the time.
Sure could be.
For you fence sitters, you've been waiting for rates to come down a little bit. And maybe you're not decided yet. Maybe you're still in the undecided column. Why not talk to Kim and Madeline?
Go ahead and get some facts.
Yeah. Let the number be your guide. Let their expertise be your guide. And what I love about them is if it's not the right time for you, they'll tell you.
Exactly.
It's not like they're just trying to sell you no matter what. No, they want you to have the best possible deal. And if you're a veteran, they're the best in town when it comes to the VA home loan programs. I feel very comfortable in saying that. The best in town.
Well, they
with
go the
helping
extra mile.
veterans. Yes. They know the latest, and the turnaround time is amazing. That, by the way, I believe is still a special interest rate reduction program.
Oh, cool.
The Earl program for short. I'm not the person that runs the mortgage company, though. I'm not going to try to characterize it myself. All I know is if you're a veteran and you are currently in a VA home, like a home loan, VA home loan, that's your mortgage. Call up Alabama Home Mortgage today. They might be able to save you some money and do it real quick, too. So call them at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368 at Equal Housing Lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
Want to take the price of new flooring and tear it in half? You can during Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, going on right now. Save 50% on select luxury vinyl plank and select carpets in stock. Stop into the store to register to win a brand new quartz countertop up to 75 feet until November 20th. No purchase necessary.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Shop now and save big at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, we're surviving after a 3-day weekend for me. So what's the score there today, Cohen?
Today, the score is 14-3. We had a couple of customers that came in. They shopped us. We tried to show them that we were competitive, but evidently they were from Missouri and they wanted to have the show meet. And anyway, a couple hours later, they both came back and said that we did have the right price. And we got them set up, and we got one being delivered this afternoon, and Michael Jacks did the other one this morning.
Nice.
So,
I love hearing that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Some folks just got to prove it, go confirm it for themselves. But you speak the truth. Like, nobody's going to be beating you on price, and definitely nobody's going to be beating you on service.
Right.
That's right. That's right. And we also, Michael Jacks got back a little bit early on Friday, and in one of our rooms, we call it the green room, he got a nice Samsung 98-inch mounted on the wall.
Ooh, nice.
And he kind of modified the Sony that he had done earlier, but we're going to move it back up about 4 or 5 inches. I think it's a little low. But it's also a 98. So you can come in and see two 98s mounted, see the difference in Samsung and Sony, and see which way you want to go. And we'll have those in stock, and happy to help you.
And of course, folks, you can always go to thinkcohens.com and look at, the 98-incher on your tiny little phone screen or your little computer monitor. Or I would encourage you to go see it in person.
Definitely.
2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And it's not just seeing the products in person. You get to meet these folks. And they're open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays?
9 to 4 on Saturday.
Where did 5 come from? But
that's probably some of my employees trying to get that changed.
But y'all be sure to tell Michael you heard him on the air here with Joey and Eddie.
Fantastic. Come see us.
See you, bud.
Great sponsor. Michael Cohen there with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Again, 334-272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Let's go to Bill. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
I'm great. How about y'all today?
Doing all right.
Am I?
You know, you were talking about the conflict with Israel and the terrorists. I mean, there are so many fronts now. I don't know how they keep up with who's going where and what's going on. But every time I start to develop a little bit of remorse for the bombing and stuff that is going on,
Mm-hmm.
I simply go back and read some of the testimony from the people that carried out the massacres of what they did and how much they enjoyed what they did, and suddenly all that remorse goes away.
Yep.
I mean, they were beyond barbaric.
Yep.
And to now say, you know, you're killing our women and children, get out from behind them. But here's the crazy thing about this. It's like somebody living in an apartment and being evicted, and then the owner of the apartment coming back and says, okay, you can live here till you find somewhere else to go. So you walk in the apartment that you just got evicted from, that the owner said you could stay at, and start tearing it up and destroying it, and expecting the owner to fix what you done, so that you can continue to live there. No other country wants these people.
Yeah.
If you look at the people in Gaza, they've got nowhere else to go.
Nobody wants them. There's a big wall on the other side.
No other country that borders them will let them come into their country.
Yep.
And yet they do this. So, you know, I hate it for them. I hate it for the women and children. But, you know, the Israelis go in and drop leaflets before they start these major campaigns.
And they have the knock bombs and, yeah.
So, I don't know. It's hard to feel sorry for somebody that does it to themselves.
Yeah, as far as Hamas and the fighters and the leadership there, and I still do the thought experiment, though. I know this probably isn't even foreign to you, Bill. I can't imagine being born into that world and not having perspective. It just is, at the end of the day, when you do see so many people chewed up who don't need to be chewed up in this thing, it's tragedy, and it needs to end. And the approach of, well, let's have a armistice or peace, and then we'll do it again 5, 10, 15 years later. It ain't working.
Well, and I don't think Israel's gonna take that bait again.
I think you're right.
I think they're gonna keep doing what they're doing until that group says no mas. We don't only promise we'll never do anything like that again. You know, look around. There's not but 3 of us left. And you know, it's crazy that it's like that. But what got me the most, 2 things, and I'll get off here, is the city of Montgomery posted a memorial to Israel, and people got on there and were like, "Free Palestine." What rock have you been under? How could an American say that, knowing what's happened over there?
If you were raised with more, let's say, radical black politics, it's kind of part of the weird history of this, where definitely the black community and the Jewish community worked together during civil rights, but then you get figures like Malcolm X, and you get the '67 war that breaks out in the middle of the civil rights movement, and it kind of leaves, say, a lot of black Americans going, "Oh, we're like the Palestinians," and identifying with them, and that still lasts to this day.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a warped sense of obligation, I would say. But, you know, they interviewed some of the parents of some of the terrorists that were captured. And they interviewed these parents, and the parents saw no wrong in what their offsprings did. And I remember one little lady saying she hoped that when her son was freed, and she expected him to be freed, he would go back and kill 1,000 more Jews.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, that's hatred there, buddy.
Yes,
That is the definition and the evilness of hatred right there as an example. Y'all have a great day.
You too, Bill.
See you, Bill.
Final hour here on a Monday coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Milton rapidly strengthening into a Category 5 hurricane, the strongest level in the Gulf of Mexico on a path towards Florida, threatening a dangerous storm surge in Tampa Bay and setting the stage for potential mass evacuations. Israelis are holding somber ceremonies to mark a year since the deadliest attack in the country's history, October 7th, 2023. A lower court order barring emergency abortions which violate the law in Texas will remain in place. The U.S. Supreme Court, without giving any reason, has let stand the decision. Texas officials argued that hospitals cannot be required to provide abortions that would violate the state's ban. The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals sided with the state. The Dow dropping 355 points, the NASDAQ off 150. This is SRN News.
Our government has engorged itself on borrowed money. Now we are over $30 trillion in debt. If this bubble finally implodes, many Americans would be left penniless and heartbroken. For example, what happens if state and federal pension funds go broke, or if 401ks and IRAs get cut in half due to hyperinflation? Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow, news analyst, best-selling author, and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. People who understand something big is coming. Now's the time to prepare with a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. Precious metals are among the most proven hedges you can make. And they're even better inside a tax advantage account. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached, so just text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you are blessed with continued prosperity.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather. Big drama in the Gulf of Mexico this week as a hurricane heads for Florida, but it won't affect us. Today, mostly sunny, very warm for October, high around 88. Cloudy at times tonight, but cooler overnight. Low temperature down to about 60. We'll be in the middle 80s on Tuesday, then the low 80s Wednesday and Thursday with more sun and low humidity, and maybe the 50s by Wednesday night, possibly lower 50s by Thursday night. Get ready for the coolest air of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
1819 News.
Residents of Enterprise held a big meeting this week regarding the impact of illegal immigration to that area. The meeting was organized by South Alabama Liberty and was a follow-up to what was told to citizens by Jay Palmer a few weeks ago. Palmer is a whistleblower on immigration. In this meeting, Foreman Joe Ruffneen made it clear that the federal government is abusing its congressionally granted authority to offer parole to the illegal aliens. Ruffneen also brought public federal documents as proof for that statement. Ruffneen said that the federal government is running over and dismissing states' rights. The Enterprise police chief also attended the meeting and revealed that these paroled migrants are able to get firearms through the state hunting license program, and Clint Grant Grantham, who is running for Coffee County Commissioner for District 1, was at the meeting and brought up the Cloward-Piven strategy, which has been mentioned by Glenn Beck on the radio. It's a strategy to implement socialism throughout the U.S. by first inundating and overwhelming already existing systems, whether it's local or state, collapsing them in order to bring about chaos and thus more federal control. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Shower Up Huntsville is now in North Carolina to help in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. The nonprofit organization is there to help those needing free showers and laundry done due to the devastated water lines and utilities. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Enjoy an evening of wine on the water at the 14th Annual Riverwalk Wine Festival, Friday, October 11th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Union Station Train Shed. This event includes a variety of wine tastings, food vendors, and live music by DJ Wright and the Wesley Hill Band. Must be 21 or over to purchase a ticket. Tickets available online at mgmcityevents.com or montgomeryal.gov. Proceeds go to the Family Sunshine Center. Don't miss the fun. Brought to you by the City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Man, these images of Hurricane Milton are just... I can't remember seeing something like that. What about you, Eddie? Look at that radar right there.
Yeah, Hurricane Hugo. I mean,
Hugo?
Yeah. I mean, Hugo took up everything. I mean, when it was on the map, it was the map. Oh, yeah. But they keep showing the interstates and highways, so I'm glad people are getting out. It's tough, though. I mean, it's tough to leave everything you've got behind.
Forecasting some very heavy winds.
Yeah, man. I mean,
up to 50 miles an hour, if not more.
That'd be
more. Oh, no, this is just Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, I think winds are going to top 125 or more as they come across Florida.
And, of course, if you listen to these airwaves, you know we ain't the weather people.
No, got Rich Thomas for that.
Rich Thomas is the man, and he's always doing breaking things with Greg Budell in the afternoons, especially when there's big weather news and events to cover. And
I do love me some Rich Thomas.
Rich Thomas is the man for that. Sign up for the Rich Thomas weather.
That's right.
I use it every day.
Growing up in Highland Gardens, Rich Thomas talked us through many a hurricane or many a tornadoes. Yeah, because the siren was like one block over.
Now let's go to the phones to talk to Dick Brubaker. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
How you doing, Dick?
It's a beautiful day in Montgomery. Maybe not that great in Tampa, but we have been very fortunate in Alabama with these two storms.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I'm not keeping up with this like I used to. But did y'all see that article at the end of last week? It mentioned some Republican congressional candidates, the governor, and the Speaker of the House, talking about expanding Medicare.
I did not.
No, I missed that one. What the H is that?
Well, I will send it to you.
Okay.
I mean, it's all in the name of saving rural hospitals. But guys, if you're a Republican, at some point you've got to stop making government bigger. I don't care what the problem is. If there's one thing that's been proven throwing money to the federal government and empowering it to take over more and more systems doesn't help anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. You know, Republican candidates, the governor, Speaker of the House, all like, yeah, you know, we just need to look into that. And the Democrats have proven if they would just stay on an issue, Alabama Republicans will eventually cave. And, I mean, good grief. We have got to find some people who will stick. I mean, government's too big. We are drowning in all of the help the government is giving us. I mean, they're killing us with all this help.
Yeah, and I think Medicaid or Medicaid expansion is just that doesn't fix the underlying reasons these rural hospitals are having trouble. That's just an influx of cash to keep something unsustainable going for a time.
Well, and the idea that you can expand Medicaid to rural hospitals and not do it in urban areas, it's specious to start with. I mean, you either expand it or you don't.
Well, yeah, send it to me. I'd like to see that.
I will. I'll do it as soon as I get out of my car. I will send it right to you. But anyway, guys, great show, and praying for those people in Florida. And if you're still in Tampa, get out, guys. Don't wait. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dick.
Dick Brubaker, folks. Always great hearing from him. I got a text from somebody we know. Said, I lived through Hurricane Hugo and walked outside during the eye.
Yep.
That's got to be
Me too, over
creepy.
Sumter, South Carolina. Walked out and we all knew you got about a half hour. We had about 15 minutes. We weren't dead center. Yeah.
Man.
It's amazing to look at that destruction. You just went through, I want to say it was 2 hours of it, of just pure hell. And then everything's quiet. You walked out and you could see blue sky, but just for a minute. And then you had another 2.5, 3 hours to go. At one point, my dad, we were all in a hallway. The whole family was together. We all came together to ride this out. We were all in the hallway. My dad, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. He said, I've had enough. I want to go to bed. So he went in the bedroom, and about 10 minutes later, he come back out, and he said, come in here and look. And there was a limb that had fallen, not while he was in there, but had fallen and was probably 4 feet above the bed, where it had busted through the ceiling, through the roof, and everything. So get out. Just get out. So don't ride them out. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, this guy said he grew up 25 miles from Charleston coast in Somerville. Said the candles were flickering inside the house from the drafts from winds.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We had every pine tree in the yard, which I think was 44 or 48, was laying down. I mean, that wasn't just us. That was the entire neighborhood. You didn't see a fence standing.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Let's see if this is on line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Can I get a roll tears today?
Duke, why are you calling? you know the three of us enjoyed that whooping Bama got.
I get the roll tears. Roll tears, roll tears.
Wait, you already got a large segment of the audience doesn't like you because of all this stuff you throw
You're
in
gonna
Trump.
finish it off now.
Now you're just gonna.
Man, I've been waiting on this forever. Oh man, y'all just don't know how this feel like Christmas, boy. When I was a little kid. Oh man.
Yeah, Duke, my uncle Scott is a huge Auburn fan. Lives in Auburn, right on the golf course. He is Auburn through and through. He's cut up there with Auburn royalty. And he was yelling at us, don't put it on, you'll jinx it.
That's right. Don't watch it. You can't watch it.
I waited. Wife said, she said, don't get too happy yet. They still got 2 seconds on the clock.
Exactly.
They put the camera on, what's his name? Mr. Myro. He was the same cat last week talking all that noise after the game. After they barely got by Georgia, he said, we knew we had this because we Alabama. Roll Tide. Mm-hmm. That's the roll tide ass roll that time, didn't you, boy?
So what'd you think of Auburn?
Yeah, what'd you think of Auburn, Duke?
We ain't want to discuss.
Did it bother you? Honestly, did you expect anything other than what we got?
Not really.
I didn't. I was it could have been worse, was my thought.
I'm surprised, the score was 3-7 at the half. Was 3-7. Yeah.
But I didn't fall for it.
Georgia, they're teasing around. They're just playing,
I didn't fall for it. I didn't get excited.
But I'm going to say one thing, and I'm going to leave it alone. All right, Dick, I heard you, Dick. But I heard you when you was running. I heard this other lady, Miss Dawson. But only thing you guys want to help, only thing you guys want to do for the people in these rural areas that doesn't have a hospital and all the above is your only answer I've heard from you guys. The border, the damn border. These people need help in the state of Alabama. We need to at least move up to number 5 someday in health care or something. I don't know. I mean, I just got a little pea brain, I've been told. So, you know, come on, people. Give me something. That's all I got on that.
Okay. Duke has spoken.
Yep.
Rolling tide, roll tide, roll tide, roll. The tears out of your eyes.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference, though, Duke. Like, y'all helped enough, is my general point of view.
I see.
Y'all have helped way too much. We'll see. Like I said, there are a lot of, say, structural issues.
Oh, yes.
In this nation of ours and our dear state of Alabama that, well, we'll see.
Maybe they're rotten from the inside out. I've seen too many of them lately.
When there's some study, I think it was in the Northwest, when one of the Northwestern states, I'm forgetting if it was Oregon or Washington, they did a fairly controlled study on Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
Like people that hopped on Medicaid, did expanding it improve health outcomes?
Right.
And the answer was no.
No. Shocking.
And, you know, from family members who have worked and work in the medical industry, yeah, it doesn't always solve your problem.
Yep.
For a lot of good reasons.
The government can't solve every problem, Joey. A lot of times the problem goes away when the government gets out of the way.
Right. I tend to view healthcare, the problem in this country, and probably the problem in the state, I'm not pretending to be an expert on healthcare in Alabama, is it's a supply side issue. That there are way too many rules and regs, probably come from the feds, that would prevent, I would say, systems that would be more anti-fragile and be able to serve in smaller communities. And then have a feeder system, because that's the way it currently works. Folks would drive to Montgomery, drive to Birmingham, these sorts of things for the big stuff. Have a system where that makes a lot more sense and it's more robust. But a lot of this can be solved. A lot of our health outcomes, it's one thing if a hospital is now insolvent, but when you think about health outcomes of people, a lot of this can be solved by preventative measures and basic lifestyle changes.
Sure.
And if you hand somebody a government check, I mean, there might be some folks saying, well, my prescriptions that I've been on for years are not getting paid for. Great. Okay, cool. But when you're talking about folks that maybe visit the doctor every once in a blue moon and then they don't do what the doctor says and there's no follow-up, it's like, what are you going to do?
Yep.
We'll see. 272-9228. I kind of like this idea Gary Palmer has it from the federal level where you'll create a parallel system, essentially creating high-risk pools, it sounds like. But it allows the states and different communities to be a bit more nimble in how they put these things together. And we'll see. But at the end of the day, I tend to think there's a lot of excuses being made on behalf of a regulatory regime and a structural problem with healthcare that we're, like most things in this country, let's just paper over the structural problem with more money.
But you've got people on one side of it that are happy with it. They get the money, no questions asked. It costs them less money because, again, there's confusion built into the system. You look at all the mistakes that Medicaid makes on the constant overpaying the hospitals.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You know there's people that milk that system. We know there's people that milk that
system. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey. Hey, Eddie's Branch.
Hey, Branch. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
All right.
I don't ever call you guys to be working or exercising or something. I always listen to you. Listen to you every day.
Thank you for that.
I cannot believe it. This must be a weird day. I actually heard something that I agree with Duke on. It's amazing. Didn't he say he had a pea brain? Duke, I love when you call bro. I really do. I like the diversity, but I think you said other people said he had a pea brain, but he acted like he was going along with it.
He didn't argue with him.
He's a smart guy, but he does have a pea brain. Joey, how's your dad doing, by the way?
He's doing well. We spent a lot of time together in the truck, and he's doing great. I don't know.
Good. My wife and I, Carol and I, graduated high school with him and your mom, and knew them very, very, very well. Good friends of ours. Tell them that Branch and Carol said hello, please.
Absolutely. I'll text them.
All right, man. Listen, I'm trying to get my walk in. I just wanted to say, hey, you guys, you sounding great as usual.
Thank you,
Branch.
Branch. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
May I say, first of all, a big anchor down.
Chris?
No, it's David.
Hey, on the healthcare system, being that I have 3 family members all retired from the healthcare system here in America, doctor, 2 nurses, and an x-ray tech.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this on numerous occasions. And what I believe and what, my wife believes we need to do is have basically set up just 2 totally separate health systems, one public, one private. Public for those on Medicare, Medicaid, illegals, whatever. Let them use that healthcare system, and then let those with private insurance use the private system or the hospitals out there in order to keep them solvent financially.
Not the worst idea in the world.
I mean, we've already got a VA system for veterans. Why not set up a separate system from that for other individuals who have no health insurance or can't afford insurance or for whatever reason, and let them use that system so that they're not clogging up like the ERs and bankrupting hospitals like they are now.
In Alaska, they do that with the natives. They have their own medical centers.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
It's not the worst idea in the world. Just
no, and
actually brings in more diversity.
Most of your Indian reservations in America have their own healthcare centers. So why not set that up on a mass scale and let them use Obamacare for that? And leave the private entities alone and let them flourish.
There's your problem. You're leaving the private industries alone. Government can't do that. And government surely can't stand by and watch somebody flourish. That's goes against 2 things.
Yeah. It makes too much business sense.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I think should be done. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, I appreciate it, David. I always like the calls from you. Thanks, sir.
See you, bud.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management. And there at Clearwater's, Reed Waters and his team are ready to help you when it comes to tree removal service. So it could be a big old tree has already fallen.
Laying
to
there.
get it off the property.
Tired of seeing it.
Could be you got one that's a leaner.
Tired of looking at that and worrying about it.
Like, I'm tired. Well, honey, if you're so worried, call Reed
Call.
Waters.
Call the man.
Or it could be you just want some trimming done. So it could be branches overhanging the house or slapping up against the side of the house anytime there's wind.
Want to improve your view.
Yeah, or it could be like just basic line of sight issues with the driveway and whatnot, or you're hitting the branches every time you pull in.
Could be.
Like they can help you with those sorts of things. And of course, they can also do stump grinding there at Clearwater's Property Management. So call them today at 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Who's next here? Who's been the most patient? Oh, yeah, let's go to line 4.
All
Hello, who's this? You're on the air.
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Papa B.
Hey. So, sorry, I'm at a bag teller here in the background. But anyway, so.
She sounds hot.
You got a prime example of where we can't really continue to go with these big federal agencies when you look at Mayorkas and Homeland Security, and what he's doing right now, he's either got the funds and he's not spending it for these hurricane relief efforts, or he's already spent it and he's not telling Congress on the illegal aliens, or maybe just a little bit of both.
I think a little bit of
And
both
that's
is what
all
we're
I'm saying,
doing.
A little bit of both.
Yep.
And so, you've got out of control federal agencies that don't feel like, and are not really, in all reality, they're not accountable to Congress. They've figured out how to shimmy around any kind of efforts of, oversight politically or, some other way. And so in these cases, we've got to disassemble them and send them back to the states. Each and every one of them, Department of Justice included. They cannot house, they have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they cannot and are not worthy of the trust of the American people. And this is where the fight is, really nationwide, I think. But as more people realize that, hey, these federal agencies are not doing the job, there's where, we get the political angle, political wedge going into, our political discussion. But at any rate, that's just overviewing what's been going on. I think that is kind of my take on it, Joey. Yeah, I didn't know how this little system of, demolishing D.C. would work, but I think more and more I see it now. Okay, so we break it up and just break it up and send it back to the states. Each and every one of them. Maybe do a regional thing so that, like in hurricane or disaster relief, say, okay, yeah, we got our state, states, are in charge, but they regionally respond one to another.
All right.
If it's a big disaster. What do you think about that?
No, I think that could work. I think when it comes to emergency relief, you could have a nonprofit too that would probably be pretty kick butt in terms of how quickly it could work in disaster areas. And I think it could be more robust than, say, something like FEMA, which always seems to be out of money when people need it the most. It's a mess.
Yeah, I got to tell you that probably, it might actually wind up being more of a blend, because the thing you get when, you go all private, all, non-government, is you open the door to more corruption. And, it's just going to happen. People that, they get these vast amounts of money, and let's face it, we're talking about billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars even now. And you get it under the purview of a few folks that aren't really accountable at all, then you're really going to have some trouble there. So I think it's best to break it up, maybe several different ways. But anyway.
Well, and on the general idea of taking a wrecking ball to D.C. or really carving down the federal government, I think somebody needs to run the risk, say even, hey, it's going to be one term. I'll do things that are very unpopular. But I suspect, say you knock down 75% of the federal government, even the folks that are wailing and gnashing their teeth at that reality that you're knocking down 75% of the government, say they get elected after you smash everything, they're probably not going to build back what they complained about you knocking down. They'll probably, if they build anything, build something new and different.
Similar to it, yeah.
Well, whoever does it needs to do it in a fashion so that it can never be rebuilt again. The actual foundations of these programs, which were laid, World War II era?
Most of them, yeah.
Eisenhower.
Starts with Wilson, but it really gets on steroids after FDR and the war.
Right. All of that. It's just got to be ripped up. And it was good as long as, America was more of a homogenous nation in terms of, beliefs, the Christian, faith in particular. People could get along better, but those days are gone, long, long gone. So anyway. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it, Papa B.
See you, Papa B.
272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this? Hello? Anybody there?
I'm here. You just me?
Hey,
Randall, what's up,
Randall,
buddy?
how you doing?
Oh, I didn't hear the old beat.
I think the beat's long been dead. It's been gone for a while.
Oh, so much I can remember. Dude, I think I done talked about this on here, but wouldn't it be so simple just to get some 18-wheelers and fix them up with like the hospital and drive them to the places? Like you had that date set up, you drive it to the small town, they do their thing. Even if you had to, you have emergency one for some kind of for pregnancies and stuff. But you just go to that small town and they come stay there a whole week. You can just drop the trailer really, or you can leave the tractor hooked up to it, and just let people come from where the hospital closed down at and get that treatment. Is that not something feasible, or is that just too much?
It takes both 18-wheelers, I think, because they'd have to come. They had to come prepared for just about anything and everything.
It depends on what needs. That could work for a lot of different needs, but I think we're dealing with certain realities that maybe it just isn't economical to have a big old hospital in the middle of rural Alabama. And so I think people need to pay attention to that signal, that why. I don't pretend to be an expert. I would ask, why are you so underwater? Like, what's costing so much? Why aren't you getting paid too? Where's the revenue side? Where's the liability side? And I'm sure if you, from an outsider's perspective, started digging into the issue,
it wouldn't be
you
too
would
hard.
see certain things that are not necessarily going to be solved again by papering over it with a big big pot of money.
I guess. Hey, what's the dude that's over the NFL? What's his name?
Goodell?
Yeah. Do you think this is turning into Saban being him for the college? Like he is stood up, or more than like, because I don't know, man. Just got a feeling, and then somebody else posted on Facebook that I know, and kind of just pat. I don't know. Do you think that could be a chance of that? Of him doing that?
Him running what?
Him running the college series, football series, like Goodell does.
Like Goodell does? I don't know if he really would have interest. 'Cause, again, Nick Saban likes to write his own rules. So he'd be, at the end of the day, he'd be working for somebody else.
I'll tell you what, though, he's a heck of a commentator.
He's
You
great.
can see why he's one of the best
Oh,
coaches
he's great,
of all time.
dude.
Like, he would just call all sorts of things. Like, he's just brilliant.
Yeah.
But he didn't commentate too much this past weekend. I know that he was more quiet, and he didn't sit up in the booth during halftime. He went down there. His wife wasn't beside me. He was just on phone on a notepad doing a little. You know what I mean? I don't know what he was doing. I guess
He's already made some comments. He doesn't like being told when he can talk and when he can't talk. So that's what I'm thinking. I think he likes what he does, but he knows he writes his own check and he can leave and go anywhere he wants at any time.
And plus, he has to sit right next to Pat McAfee every college game day.
They seem to get along pretty good.
Mhm.
I think Pat kind of teases him a little bit.
Man, I love how much of a heel that guy is.
Yeah.
He annoys
he's
the
great.
crap out of so many people.
Look what college football's become this year, though. Upset like you ain't never seen, and the close ball games that people want to see. I mean, I ain't seen nothing that ain't made this interesting. Like you talking about it, everybody talking about it regardless. On every radio show, somebody mentioned it. I know y'all haven't until somebody else brought it up, but I was just curious if that was something you've seen in the foresight.
I don't know. I think, again, he can do what he wants. I'm sure all his contracts end at the end of the year, so he can pick out and do what he wants. So.
10-4. All right, bros. Well, we'll see y'all.
See you, man.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joe. I'm on there?
Yes. Hey, Sam.
Oh, excuse me. This is Sam calling from Pike County. And listen, I'm like everybody else. I'm waiting on this whole AI thing to come along because I can see it, the AI portable hospital. Like renting a steam cleaner. You go up to the Piggly Wiggly pig store, and you just rent your portable AI hospital, bring it out the house. And then there's that surgery you've been putting off a while. You plug it in, and it'll just fix your back, maybe replace a rotator cuff or something. Coming. Just hold on a little longer.
I don't know if I want
Hello?
Dr. Robot.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know if I want that.
No, and plus I got a
not a
feeling if
robot.
you put some of these fancy Chinese robots out in rural Alabama, they'd be like, "Why are there so many fat, ugly women eating
think
their
they
fried
do. I
chicken
don't think
while
they'd just
the
be
cigarette
saying,
is in their mouth?"
Women, Joey, I got a feeling they would be
Gentlemen,
opening it up
gentlemen,
for all
gentlemen.
the sexes.
Why are there so many fat, ugly people?
All right, look,
People.
I'm having trouble.
Yeah,
getting
there are
past
plenty of
this.
those in the cities, though, and plenty of those all over the way, all over the world.
Proper AI is not a robot; it's artificial intelligence.
Right,
Android.
right.
Hey, listen. In all seriousness, remember. Talk about Katrina. 1 month before Katrina, they had the training. PBS was there, filmed it.
yeah.
Heck, that's how I saw it. Megan and his whole crowd. They went through the motions, which departments were going to contact who, and then nobody showed up for work.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it all gets back to let's get away from the DEI and back to quality hires. That's what we're all seeing, man. Imagine being with some people showing up in D.C. after it's been a disaster, and they've got attitude. I hope these videos I'm seeing are just hype, man. It's awful. All right, I've preached. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much.
All right,
Appreciate
Shabby.
it, Sam.
See you, buddy.
And for those wondering, like, why I was on this fat, ugly women thing, it's because I had a run-in with some earlier today.
So a fat woman broke your heart, what you're saying?
Nope.
Okay.
It was more like they were wasting my time.
Oh, wasting your time.
Right.
Holding you up.
No, seriously, I got to stop going to gas stations that serve crispy, crunchy chicken.
This is the South, right? So it's going to have some folks in there wanting that crispy, crunchy chicken.
Yeah, but why is it that you can get your tobacco products, you can get your water, energy drinks, and the food that you grab off the wienerisserie,
yes.
the little rolls they got there in the morning and biscuits. Why is it that that's quickly checked out?
Okay.
But if you order a 5-piece, like your fat ass needs it, it takes 30 minutes for them to take it off the damn hot tray. I got places to be. You fat, ugly women, move.
They want to make sure they get the right sauce. They want to make sure they get the right piece of chicken. They don't really just trust the guy just to pick a piece. It's usually, I want that one.
Yeah. I want dark meat.
Yep.
And give me some more fat to pour on top of it.
Yeah. Those things take time, Joe.
I mean, I'm also preaching to the choir here in the sense of me and Eddie have. How many times have we gotten something fried and like, let's pour some more fat on top of it?
Most days I did in why?
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it takes so long to actually order, your meal making you so fat.
Sounds like you're mad that the person behind the counter was giving excellent customer service in a sense that they want to make sure their customer got everything they wanted.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, as she moved, I think she was part snail.
Or she was just that much wanting to make sure.
And I just can't,
her customer was happy.
if you're going to do rewards programs, why does it take so long to put in your code?
I just make up a number. I don't even know anymore.
Now, do you have one? No.
And why do they ask dudes? Because it's one or two with a dude. He's like, my wife's got one. I don't know the number, or no. So why even ask?
Anyway, I'll get over that. But
I hope so.
Standing there 15 minutes in line.
I bet it was some good chicken, though.
Didn't look like that
Really?
to me.
Kind of dried out a little bit?
Well, it looked like it'd been sitting there.
Yeah, if it's been sitting too long under the sun lamp, it'll get all dried out.
Anyway, let's hit a break. When we come back, Peter St. Ange today talking about how FEMA is broke. Stay tuned.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your market report. So far this year, over 3,300 homes have sold and closed in the River region with an average price of $260,000. Over 60% of these homes sold in 60 days or less and sold for 98% of list price. So, two forces are at work right now. First, we have more inventory of homes now than we've had in 4 years. Second, we also have the lowest interest rates in 15 months for VA, FHA, and conventional loans, and this helps sellers and buyers. In addition, sellers are more willing to negotiate favorable terms for buyers than I've seen in over 4 years. So the objection from potential sellers, where would we go if we sold our house? Well, now you have more homes to view than we've had in a long, long time. Why wait? For more information or a written report, call Bo Goodson at 221-2883 or the Goodson Group at 551-0225.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole. For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Independent Glass has been your one-stop shop for all things glass since 1978. They offer a full range of architectural products, and they're armed with the knowledge and expertise to get even the most demanding job done, big or small. Attention to detail, 24-hour replacement services, and their uncompromising commitment to excellence is why Montgomery's first choice for all things glass is Independent Glass. Call them today at 263-2823 and learn more about what they can do for you at independentglassco.com.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Major tropical trouble in the Gulf of Mexico, but not for us. For tonight, cloudy, at times cooler, overnight low temperature down to about 60. We'll be in the middle 80s tomorrow, low 80s on Wednesday and Thursday with more sun and very tolerable humidity. 50s by Wednesday night and maybe even lower 50s on Thursday night. Get ready for the coolest air of the season so far. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Hey, Eddie, you know what?
What?
This is the Trump country.
That's all I have to say.
That's pretty good.
Welcome back to the program. Now, as promised, let's go to the latest from Peter St. Onge out today. This is about, FEMA is broke.
It is America Last, as Federal Disaster Relief Agency FEMA reports it is broke because it pissed it all away on illegals, foreign aid, and Ukraine, instead of, say, the American people. So says the Department of Homeland Security, with Secretary Mayorkas confessing, quote, FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season. Note this is after Dems strong-armed $12 billion last year for FEMA by holding it hostage to Ukraine aid, and then Mike Johnson poured another $20 billion in just for good measure a few weeks ago. Now, FEMA's foreigner-depleted cupboards could be part of why the White House has dragged its feet, declaring Title X, which sends military resources into disaster zones to help rescue, largely leaving rescue to private volunteers, truck drivers, helicopter pilots, and people with boats dubbed the Cajun Navy, some of whom, incidentally, have been threatened with arrest or had their supplies confiscated. Of course, even if you don't arrest them, there's only so many private volunteers with helicopters, and they don't have billions of dollars hijacked from taxpayers and then given away to import new voters or pay military contractors. For starters, considering the 82nd Airborne is literally based in North Carolina and deploys in hours halfway around the world, it might be nice to get some help. Ironically enough, just last week, Mr. Biden announced another $2.4 billion to Ukraine, aid that has historically included generators and transformers that are now desperately needed in North Carolina.
Yep.
Of course, it wasn't just Ukraine. Everybody from Taiwan to Djibouti has apparently been feasting, whilst our own people go without. And that apparently includes the millions of illegals who showed up uninvited. Thanks to X, we have the receipts for program after program shipping out FEMA money for illegals, $100 million at a time. The New York Post tallies these to at least $1.4 billion in disaster relief repurposed to bribe sanctuary cities to import replacement workers, especially in swing states. As America First Legal put it, quote, over the last 4 years, the Biden administration has steadily transformed FEMA into an illegal alien resettlement agency.
Yeah.
So it's red carpets for illegals, $200 billion for Mr. Zelensky, and boiling swamp water for North Carolina. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. For literally millennia, disaster relief has been a touchstone of a functioning government. In China, for example, a bad response to a natural disaster was taken as a revocation of the mandate of heaven, the sovereign's right to rule. This is part of the reason that even today, countries like Japan, where I am now, take natural disasters very seriously because the people are watching and remembering. In America, our federal government has long since lost that mandate. FEMA was a disaster in Katrina, in COVID, in Palestine, Ohio, and now in North Carolina. So how did it get this bad? Easy, because the bureaucracy took over, replacing the people via something called the Pendleton Act, which I'll cover in an upcoming video. This means the government's goal is not serving the people or fixing the problem, but feathering its own nest, expanding its power, and rewarding the donors and lobbyists who paid the politicians to give them that power in the first place. One video out of North Carolina captures the shift perfectly. A police officer threatening to arrest a local couple for trying to salvage their flooded store before looters get to it. There was a time that officer would have rolled up his sleeves and pitched in to help because his job was protect and serve. But those days are gone. Protect and serve has now become neglect and harass, at least if you're American. A new episode of the Roundup podcast just dropped. Check it out at petersainonge.com or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Again, Peter St. Ange from Japan.
I saw that video he was talking about, saw several more where there was one in particular where a helicopter pilot, I can't think of his name, but he came down with his own money, him and his son, his own helicopter, own fuel. They found a couple. They were flying around trying to help. They found a couple. They were able to bring the wife back to the checkpoint, and the pilot left his son there. They brought the wife back to the checkpoint, landed, told the cops what they were doing. The sheriff in charge told him, if you go back and you pick up the other gentleman and bring him here, I will take you to jail. And he made him repeat it 3 times, got him on video saying it. And he said, well, I'm going back. I'm picking up my son. But you're making me tell this person that I was coming back for 30 minutes, too. 30 minutes. You're making me tell him that I can't save him anymore because of you. And that's what happened. The guy said the hardest thing I had to say, my son gets in a helicopter. That gentleman goes to get in the helicopter. I have to tell him, no, you can't come. Can't come because they've told me I'm going to be arrested if I save you. He said, I've told others there are other people coming, but I promise you there are other people coming. And he said when he flew away, all he could do was hope that those people really were coming.
It's messed up. That's real messed up.
Yeah, too much bureaucracy. Way too much. And when people like that, like the sheriff person, flexes their authority, it needs to be removed immediately. Never to be shown in public again. He needs to go away.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of me like, take me to jail then.
The guy, and he knew that the guy was just blowing smoke, but there was nothing he could do. They waited 24 hours, and then they were able to start over again. And then when your politicians wanted to come in, they did a TFR, temporary flight restriction. So no helicopters, no drones, or nothing could go through there. So some old fart could fly through and tour it. That's ridiculous. You got to get these jackasses out.
272-9228. Hey, let's talk about something that'll make you a little happier.
Okay.
River Region Contracting.
Hey, I like those folks, Joey.
Oh, those are
They do good
folks
job,
on the
man.
up and up.
Yeah.
So wait, they show up on time.
Yes.
They get the job done well. They can work on both metal roofs and asphalt
Incredibly
roofs.
professional. And they don't just tell you, hey, we're going to fix this and walk away. They'll explain to you. Fisher price it down to you. This is what we're doing. This is why we have to do it.
They love to educate their customers on exactly what they're doing. And, you should get an inspection on that roof every 3 to 5 years. But Eddie and I have been suggesting do it every year. Because why not with River Region Contracting? Their inspections are always free, as are their estimates. So say they find an issue, they'll write up, here's what it's going to cost to fix, and it's accurate.
Good deal.
Again, they show up on time, they do the job well, and they're insurance specialists. So if they do find a problem with your roof, your insurance might cover. They can walk you through that claims process, make it an easy and swift experience. And, when you're getting regular inspections, you're probably not going to have much of a hassle when you're dealing with the insurance company.
Exactly right.
Especially when you've been getting those inspections from the same company.
They know that you've been on top of it.
There you go. They can't claim, you're negligent. No, I got the paperwork. I've been looking into this on a regular basis.
Right.
So check out River Region Contracting today. 356-8635. That's their number. 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and the team there that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the River Region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
This is Frank Bertorelli. We'd like to take time out to thank Blue Water Broadcasting for their years of help in growing our business. Over 25 years with Zap Pest Control and still growing thanks to Blue Water Broadcasting.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the River Region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now, Eddie, one of my favorite theories, and it's not really conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
It's more like, what do you think Joe Biden is really thinking now that he's been put out to pasture?
Oh, I think I know what he's really thinking.
Well, he decided to just go to the White House press room.
Yep.
The other day.
Kind of what I'm thinking he's thinking.
I have to say, I like that tie. He's looking a little more relaxed. Seriously, like
he hears the orchestra.
And it's sort of a muted charcoal.
Here's the fat
suit.
lady warming up there in the background.
Here, let's hear from Joe Biden.
There have obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
That's not what she said.
So the theory is he doesn't want her to win. He's still pissed off. And so he's saying stuff like that.
Yeah, because she said kind of a little bit opposite of that, like they're on separate pages.
Right.
And
I
she
wasn't
really
even
around
there
during that time.
like the last 4 years.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
kind of agree with you, what you're thinking there, buddy.
Well, we'll see.
I've gotten a couple calls. That story I told apparently was an assistant fire chief that told that pilot that, and he was removed from his job less than 24 hours later. Good.
That's just, I know people maybe lose their heads, lose their cool in the middle of something like that, but that's just uncalled for.
If you go back and save that person's life who's been without anything for 3 days, I will arrest you. How he didn't punch that dude's lights out is amazing to me.
Right. Absolutely crazy. Hey, can you call up?
Yeah.
The one guy. There's one story I didn't get to that apparently there are liberal girls, women, ladies, setting up fake profiles on dating apps in order to catfish men into voting for Kamala. Eddie's getting a kick out of that one. I should have brought this up earlier because we only got like 4 minutes left in the show. But if you are a man and you let one of these ladies
red flag
convince you
red flag
to vote a certain one way or the other,
one way or the other, yeah.
All it is over a wow
red flag. Joe.
Maybe we'll get to that tomorrow. I'll bring it up with Judge Knapp. What do you think of TikTok?
Oh, what does it take for you to change your vote?
Mm-hmm. No, it's like, how about you come over, we Netflix and chill, if we're still using that phrase, and then I'll think about voting for Trump. And actually, I wonder, you wanted me to vote for Kamala? I'm sorry, I'm going to vote for Trump, like after the fact. Yeah, I wonder who's actually getting catfished here.
Good
like,
point.
are they actually going on the dates?
Oh, or is the guy actually?
Then the dude's like, yeah, sure, I'm voting for Kamala, sure.
I'll take out the trash. Yeah, I'll do whatever.
I love you. Yeah, men will lie about how much they love somebody, but they definitely will only tell the truth about voting. Yeah, we'll have to get to that tomorrow. Let's go to Ray Pauls from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Now, as a man, we all know how that's going down.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. And then laugh all the way home.
Yep.
Calling your buddies and telling you what you did. You know you would.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, how'd you get her to do that? I told her I was voting for Kamala.
It's a new thing.
Kamala, yeah.
But little she know it's a secret ballot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, my. Y'all have a good weekend?
Yeah, very good weekend.
Oh, did you say anything about Mark's 50th birthday today?
Yes. Happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday again, Mark.
Number 50, baby.
I have to apologize. I've not been able to listen to the show today. I've been in the office all day long doing paperwork, the bane of my existence, but it has to be done, right?
Yep, it does.
So don't forget, we have all these incredible sales going on through October for October sale. Register for the new countertop while you're in here. And call us right now, and we'll come out and give you a free estimate. It doesn't get any easier than that, guys.
It really doesn't. And if you want the countertop, you got to get out there and get in the raffle in person at 2201 Cobbsville Road. Or if you're just interested in that great discounted flooring, 285-8117. That number, 285-8117. And be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray.
Yeah, it's like, how are there really guys that are like, okay, because you texted with me, I'll go vote for Kamala?
I'm sure there are a couple, but they are an extreme small minority. Men are liars. We lie about things we don't have to lie about. So give us an opportunity, we'll lie.
Okay, we got to check this out. At least we'll maybe do a full thing on it tomorrow. But this is like one of the videos of a chick bragging about this.
I, Georgia Bergers, lesbian, have found myself on Straight Hinge.
Oh no, we got to save this. Georgia Bergers, lesbian. She did the whole over the shoulder lesbian.
She dressed like a bumblebee.
I've gone full undercover lesbian spy. Why? Well, like most spies, I have a mission. Now, as we all know, I have a wife. Girlfriend. Hinge has been the last thing on my mind for quite some time now, but my friend here, Straight Georgia, who lives in Pennsylvania, is really, like me, passionate about voting. So I started matching with a bunch of guys on Hinge. Day one, I learned pretty quickly that a lot of these guys already had voting plans, which was awesome. My personal favorite being Joe, whose legs I made shake after promising him to go mail our ballots in together. From there on out, I was only matching with...
Wait, you've not met one of these men in person? Idiot.
Even more likely they are lying to you.
I'm a lesbian, and I figured out how to trick... No. We got to do a full... Because there's more people confessing to doing this.
Wow.
Let's do a whole expose on this very important issue.
I didn't even know that was an option.
And also, it's a little... Like, can you imagine, it's like, I'm Joey, straight, but I went on Gay Hinge to convince people to vote for Trump.
Sorry.
It's like, no.
You lost your credibility when you... Yeah.
Did you see him dancing to YMCA? And on that note, let's get out of here. Happy hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
That's our news.